just here to give my opinion and carry in.
Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, welcome and happy Friday. It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, pop culture, and hot topics. So if that's, well, hold on, because this is annoying. I gotta fix something in here really quick. I don't know, I should have did this before I went live, child, but we here. Anyway, I'm back. All right, y'all. So let's do that again. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chris Avalon. Welcome to Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show we basically talk about all things going on in celebrity news, pop culture, and hot topics. So that's a show for you. Definitely stick around because we have a lot of tea to spill today, including we got to talk about these ratings regarding Daredevil Born Again. Like half of y'all ain't watching the damn show. So we're getting into that. DC's The Authority movie has been put on the back burner. James Gunn feeling like it doesn't fit in with what he's got going on with the DCU he's trying to build. We also got to talk about these rumors. Hunter Schafer is still being considered to play Mystique in the X-Men reboot by the MCU. Zayn Malik done canceled his Konnakol US tour dates because he's been sick. We got to talk about this. And Sabrina Carpenter single, Bring Your Love. It's finally out. I listened to it too many damn times that I'm afraid to mention. And we're gonna talk about it on the show, my overall thoughts and everything. So, and then y'all can chime in as well. Also, there's some rumors going around that Beyonce is going to announce Act 3 this Monday while she's at the Met Gala, some or another. Fans are speculating this online. Her publicist is denying this. We'll see how this all works out, but I have some things that I got to say on that as well. Britney Spears, what was going on with her in this whole DUI situation? She's finally been charged. We're going to talk about all of that and what she's being charged for. I didn't even think I'd be talking about this group, like ever on this show. I mean, I think we've talked about them every now and again, but who's still watching Jersey Shore? But anyway, apparently they're doing press for their final season, and fans were pointing out the fact that Ronnie was hiding Cooter Brown while he was doing the press, nodding off while they were all doing the press and everything. I got the video. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down as a class. So we're going to talk about the and Mike. The situation has responded to some of the stuff that everybody's been saying regarding of this. Kim Zolciak lost primary custody of them damn kids again because she out here wanting to be laying low and spreading it wide instead of doing her motherly duties, allegedly. So then we also got to talk about the Broken Hearts Club has their 25th anniversary and threw some shade at Dean Cain while they were at it. Billy Porter did. We'll talk about that. RuPaul's Drag Race. We already know who's going to be the queens. That's going to be on All Stars 11. Now we have the list of judges. We're going to break that down and a whole lot more. Plus, apparently I heard some sad news that Drag Race queen Katya has been hospitalized with a mystery illness. So we'll break that down and a whole lot more. So before we get to those topics, if you can please hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And also be sure to smash that notification bell so that we with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And while I'm doing this, I'm here checking my audio levels and doing all that stuff. But anyway, let me head over here. What do I think of the new Madonna song? I love it. But I'll break it down more when we get to that topic. Hi, hello. Okay, so let me hit my banner. I was like, and I need a Red Bull because yesterday I worked at double shift. I was exhausted. I was so mad that we didn't have a home game for the Knicks, but I saw they literally took belt to ass over there at Atlanta. So that was a great game. We won the first round. Great to see what's gonna happen when it comes to the second round and everything. And they were rooting for the home team. And then I went to Peso Pluma concert. That went on late. I didn't get out of that till midnight or after midnight. And then I worked the earlier show with the Mets. They lost. So I'm like working a double. My body is killing me. I'm exhausted. That's why I'm drinking this. And I know I shouldn't be drinking it. But child, I need my medicine. But anyway, let's hit the banner, which I already did. And without further ado, let's get into topic number one. And let's talk about Daredevil. So apparently, you already know Daredevil's already well into his season. I believe next week is the finale because I think they did 8 episodes or whatever. But apparently, according to reports, Daredevil's not doing that well this season. They said it dropped the ratings, well, viewership dropped by a whopping 50%. So the official numbers for Daredevil Born Again season 2 have been released, and they're not good. Streaming platform rarely, if ever, reveal office part viewership numbers for movies and TV shows. However, many third-party companies attempt to estimate these figures, including Luminate, which measures projects by minutes watched by views by film, TV series, or episodes. Now, how these companies collate these this data is always made abundantly clear, though they typically aggregate data from a massive panel of connected TVs, that will be CTVs, using automatic content recognition, ACR technology to identify what is being watched on screen. The latest figures shared by the company reveal that Daredevil Born Again Season 2 has accumulated 4,415,000 season views, 10,867,000 hours watched, and 652 million minutes watched. In comparison, season 1 generated 8,357,000 season views, 24 million, hours watched, and 1,440,004 minutes watched in the same time frame. This marks a decline of 46% in total views and 54 in total hours watched. Now, over the past 5 weeks, the numbers suggest that Daredevil Born Again has suffered a roughly 50% decline in overall viewership on Disney Plus. Now, they said the reliability of these figures can be easily questioned, though it's worth noting that Daredevil Born Again did not manage to chart in Nielsen's weekly top 10 streaming originals during its premiere week. Taking these numbers at face value, they said there's clearly been a drop in interest. The bigger question is why that's happened and whether it will have an impact on the show's future. Because we should say that season 3 is currently filming in New York. They're funny, and they told us they're going to give it to us annually and everything. And I like Daredevil; it's a good show. I just think the problem is, well, I'll speak for myself. I think the problem with Daredevil is that I always forget when it's on. I don't know what day it comes on. I don't know if it comes on I don't know what day begins, well, it ends with a Y that it comes on. The only time I actually know an episode of Daredevil has aired is, when a lot of the YouTubers that do a lot of TV reviews sit and they do their review of the episode. Like, for instance, if Real Rejects posts something or someone of that ilk, or if John Campion mentions it or somebody. So, excuse me, that's the only time I actually know if they dropped an episode. Other than that, I don't know when the episodes come on or whatever the case that is. So I think that's a problem. Number two, I think another reason why the show probably isn't doing well is because of the subject matter. Like, when you watch the show, I honestly don't feel good watching it because too much of what's happening in the show feels very much like what's happening now. Like this man trying to take this authoritative approach to running New York City, similar to the way this wannabe president is doing with all his fascist bullshit, and having these oligarchs and all these other men doing whatever they're doing as a distraction, excuse me, for some other sinister things that they're doing behind the scenes. So he's doing his little criminality stuff, but trying to cloak it as New York City, and we're trying to protect the people, and vigilantes are dangerous, and all that stuff. Now, mind you, the Boys is doing something similar that is kind of reflecting the times. Although I think the difference with The Boys versus Daredevil takes itself way too seriously. And The Boys kind of does things with they add a little humor to it. So I think that's an easier pill for people to swallow. So I think that's why a lot of people tend to go with that more than anything. So I think that's probably what's and at the end of the day, what's hurting the show is that a lot of the stuff that's reflective of what's going on, and the fact that it's just too serious. The boys, I haven't even gotten around to watching that season yet because I guess I was going to wait to the end. And I think another thing that might be another thing too. Maybe what's also hurting the ratings for these type of shows is the fact that people binge now. I mean, I'll speak for myself. I binge now. I don't really watch shows as they're happening now. Maybe if there was a couple of episodes already available, I'll sit and I'll scroll and watch a couple of them back to back to back to back. But for the most part, I'm not a week to week episode watcher based off of my attention span. So I think that's probably a lot of the key factors that's hurting this show. But nevertheless, the action sequences, the story, all of that is good. But I think at this point, going forward, if this is really hurting the show, maybe it's time to bring in some new characters, new villains. I'm sick of Kingpin. He's getting on my goddamn. I like Vincent D'Onofrio, but he's getting on my nerves with this show. I'm glad what happened to Vanessa happened to her in episode 4. She was getting on my fucking nerves too. So it might be time to just clean house, bring in some interesting people, and maybe that'll help the show. So, or is it also? Do you think that maybe with this show being on Disney Plus is putting a bad taste in people's mouth based off of the reputation of what Disney is and what it represents? Do you think that also is what's hurting the show and got people not interested in wanting to watch it, or is it just that y'all just think the show is corny and it's not? It doesn't have that same je ne sais quoi that they had over there when we had the Netflix show, because I loved it when it was on Netflix. And maybe it was easily accessible when it was on Netflix because pretty much everybody got damn Netflix or can use someone else's Netflix. So I'm definitely curious to hear what a lot of you guys have to say. Why do you think the show's not doing well? So yeah, if you have any comments regarding this particular story, why do you think that the ratings are pretty much not as great? It's not in the top 10 of trending streaming shows. It's dropped by 50% in viewership. Why do you think that is? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. All right. So now let's move on to topic number 2. And let's get into the authority. So James Gunn, who is currently working on that new Superman movie. What's it called? Man of Tomorrow? Yeah. So he's working on that right now, which I wish he would just spend more time being a mogul instead of trying to be a director, because it gives like you don't even know what you want to do in this whole DC universe type situation. So yeah, so in the beginning, when they were structuring what they wanted the DC universe to look like post the Snyderverse, one of the projects they wanted to bring forth was the Authority, which I thought was a great idea because these band misfits, they have a real unconventional way of seeing how they want to make the world a better place. And on top of that, what's controversial with the Authority is that they have a gay version of Batman and Superman, who are a couple. So the fact that James Gunn was going to tackle this kind of idea because it fits in that same wheelhouse of like Guardians of the Galaxy, like it has that vibe of misfits in that sort of way. So I thought this would be a good idea. The problem is when you do a film like this, the only way it works, this type of risk, is that you have to establish your previous universe. So you need to establish the Batman universe, your Superman universe, your Wonder Woman, and all that. Pick the core 4 of your, that trifecta of major superheroes, build them up, let them make their $1 billion movies with those, or try to get to $1 billion. And then when DC or Warner Brothers, for that sake, DC Warner Brothers, whatever you want to call it, because they're all in the same umbrella before the Ellisons fuck it up. Um, Once you've established that universe, then you could take a risk and do something like the Authority, and I think that would be an easier pill for people to swallow. Now, people got a problem with seeing 2 gay superheroes in a franchise. Y'all can fuck all the way off because it's part of the comic book, it's canon, it's that whole situation. So if you're gonna get mad over, I don't want to see gay people in comics. I mean, comics are gay any goddamn way. So I don't even know what the fuck people are talking about. But anyway, so let's get into um with all that being said, I just want to get into the article. So let's do that. So The Authority was first published by DC Comics under the Wild Storm imprint in 1999. Now created by Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch. Excuse me, they're a team that gets the job done by any means necessary, which is really what I just said. Their extreme methods care little for politics and law. And it's kind of got that same similar vibe of like Watchmen, because remember, they were like a band of misfit superheroes as well. So now it says that, of course, boasting the eclectic cast of characters, it's easy to see why the team appealed to James Gunn, especially after his work on projects like Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad, and Creature Commandos. That was another one I was thinking about too. That was like, yeah, it kind of fits in that vibe of misfit superheroes. Now, plans for a movie was announced when the DCU slate was revealed by DC Studios at the start of 2023, and the prevailing theory was that Gunn may even write and direct the project. Superman even introduced a member of the Authority, though that version of the engineer didn't have a huge amount in common with the comic book counterpart. Still, it was a start and one that laid the groundwork for the team's eventual DCU debut. Now, Gunn has previously alluded to the Authority falling by the wayside, even amid reports that the project is still being reworked. Now, he's confirming that not only were the rumors of him writing and directing incorrect, but the project has been shelved, saying, I would have never had time to do this. And although I know this is a popular theory online, I never had an intention of writing or directing The Authority. This is what he said, of course, on Threads, because that's the only place where he always wants to go to yap about this stuff. So he said the script wasn't quite there, but more importantly, it didn't work in terms of the larger DCU, but in terms of the story and practical concerns, maybe someday, not soon. So, like I said, I just feel like at this point, if it comes down to us getting an Authority movie, just establish the DCU and what you want it to be, because the only thing you have out of the gate so far is a Superman movie, which I thought was okay. I didn't think it was as up to par as like the type of Superman that I wanted to see on the big screen, but I understand it's hard to make Superman interesting from like taking him from the comics and bringing him live action and making him an interesting, complex character. Because how do you do that when you created such a perfect being? It's next to impossible to make Superman interesting in that way. And Supergirl, I have to say, based off the trailers and everything that I've seen so far, I'm not all that hyped for the movie either. But I'm hoping it's good based off of the guy who's directing it, and I'm hoping that that they prove me wrong with that. But I'm not that excited to see. It's not even in my top 5 of movies I want to see this year. But I am going to go see Supergirl because it's part of the DCU, and I try to support, my superheroes any which way I can if the movies don't suck. Um, but it seems, and then we have Clayface and all this stuff coming. So it's like they're trying to figure out their way of making how do we make this world work post. Because I'm trying to understand the theme and the tone and everything. It just seems like it's all over the place. I don't understand which direction that James Gunn is trying to go with the franchise. Maybe I'm missing something, but I just don't. I'm just not catching what he's throwing. But it just seems like they're still trying to figure things out because they're relatively new with all this. Then we got Man of Tomorrow that he's currently working on that I believe comes out next year. So we just got to wait and see how that pans out. But I definitely would have loved to have seen something like The Authority, because The Authority definitely fits in the type of thing like in the wheelhouse of a James Gunn, based off of his tone, his directional, the way he shoots films, the type of characters that are in there. So I could definitely see him taking something like this on. Hopefully they'll revisit it down the road. I mean, if they do, give it like maybe the next 5 years or something. We'll see something once Adria Arjona comes and plays Wonder Woman. Y'all can't tell me otherwise. I truly believe in my heart of heart she is Wonder Woman. I don't care what James Gunn says. So once Adria Arjona gets introduced in Man of Tomorrow, and then she gets her own solo movie, kind of like how y'all do with Batman v Superman and Gal Gadot, and then you have all these other characters that we have coming out. We got Superman. I don't know who y'all have playing Batman yet. I mean, I like someone suggested that Austin Abrams, who was it? I think it was Jeff Snyder, said that Austin Abrams, who plays in he was in Weapons, he's also the lead. Well, I think he's the only main character in the new Resident Evil, the new trailer drop yesterday. Oh my god, that trailer looks so good. I was so like I've never had any doubt in regards of Zach Kreger, and I'm glad he didn't prove me wrong with that. When I saw that trailer, I'm like, this is creepy as fuck. Austin Abrams was in there definitely not hamming it up in a good way. He's kind of like he reminds me of Timothy. He reminds me of Timothy Chalamet. Like if Timothy Chalamet didn't exist, I feel like Austin Abrams would be a bigger star. Or I guess no shade. I think if Timothy Chalamet is too busy and you can't get Timothy Chalamet, you go to Austin Abrams and give him that part. So he's like Timothy's understudy, except he's a really good actor. So I hope that's not coming across as an insult. I'm trying to find it's like saying that, yeah, you're like Timothy's understudy, but in a good way. But nevertheless, I hope they get it together. I hope we get to see an authority movie sometime in my lifetime before I leave this earth, because we definitely need, when it comes to diverse characters, it's been a long time. We have yet to get any queer characters represented in the world of superheroes, especially on the big screen. So hopefully, after this trash ass administration of closet cases is eliminated, because Grinder happens to go up every time the RNC is in town. So once this administration of closet cases is gone, hopefully it'll create a situation where people will feel safe enough to want to create, because the movies goes with the times of how the government and everything runs. So when they start leaning conservative, you get movies start to get more conservative, or they start to push back a little bit and they get a little more edgy and they push against the establishment. So I'm hoping other studios will do that. But in the meantime, we're just gonna have to hold off on this movie from coming out. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding the authority? That it seems like we're not gonna get this movie for a while because James Gunn's got other priorities. I mean, he ain't gonna tell us what they are, because this is also why I say if you need to figure out your thing before you start putting it out there, because he came out like the minute that he got the job, him and Peter Safran, he came out with this whole list of this is all the stuff we're gonna do, and then he's still talking about booster gold. I'm like, child, I don't care about no damn booster gold unless now I see a trailer, I may change my mind. But figure out how you want to establish things before you start putting out a whole list of movies you talking about you want to do, and then 3-4 years later we're like, okay, so where are these movies? And now you've shifted gears. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. All right. I was like, hold on, let me close some of this stuff. Okay, y'all. So now let's move on. And let's talk about Hunter Schafer. So rumors have been swirling for a while that, with the X-Men reboot, there's been a couple of names that have been floating around for a while and everything. But when it comes down to Mystique, one of the names that has always been floating around in the conversation is Euphoria's very own Hunter Schafer. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't throw tomatoes at me, but I have yet to watch this new season. I will get around to it. I'm thinking maybe what I'll do with Euphoria, I was like, should I binge it, or is the show so heavy that it's not something you want to sit and watch back to back to back to back to back? It's like, okay, this one episode, um, I'm gonna just watch one episode and then move on because it's too heavy and too much of the subject matter is crazy. But anyway, so Hunter Schafer's name has been floating around. It's coming back around, back around again. And I have to say, like, even when they started mentioning Hunter's name as being on the radar of people who they were thinking about being Mystique, she was always like one of my main choices too, especially because when you look at someone like a Mystique who is a shapeshifter and can transition from like a male, a female, and so many different things, what better than to have a trans woman playing Mystique, especially if you're a good actor like she is. So according to Comic Book Movie, because this is who had the article, we're still waiting for an official cast announcement for Marvel Studios' X-Men reboot. And some people believe that San Diego Comic-Con will be the place where we'll probably find out about who's going to be playing the new X-Men. But we do know that with Avengers Doomsday, this is going to be a love letter done right, I guess, to the original OG X-Men because we see like Rebecca Romaine is in there, Patrick Stewart's in the film. We saw James Marsden. And some of the costumes have actually leaked online. I saw that the other day, but then of course they was immediately taken down. But I did screen grab the Mystique one of Rebecca Romaine. I don't particularly like the short red hair that they gave her. And James Marsden in the blue suit, blue and yellow suit. So I did get those pictures because I saw those on Thread. So I did grab those. But I know on Twitter they took them down. Um, so yeah, so there's it's gonna be a love letter to the OG cast, which I think they definitely need a great send off. To me, X-Men the what is it? Days of Future Past. I don't know if it's the last stand. Last stand was ass. But X-Men Days of Future Past, I thought was an excellent X-Men movie. And I don't even think did Bryan Singer direct that? I hope not. Because it was actually good. Bryan Singer's usually been hit and miss with the X-Men movies. But I do feel like at the end of the day, that X-Men, the OGs, need that great send-off before we go younger and take it back to like a new cast of characters. So I'm looking forward to that. So we already know we're getting the old heads up in the other film. As far as like the newer cast, I do hope that San Diego Comic Con will be the place where they'll reveal that, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see when that comes around. But they said there've been a lot of rumors doing the rounds. I guess that's a phrase. Okay, doing the rounds over the past few months. Casting is now believed to be underway, however, and we're now hearing that a name first mentioned over a year ago could still be on the studio's radar. Now, according to Scooper MTTSH, Hunter Schafer is still being considered for the role of Raven Darkholm, aka Mystique, in the upcoming movie. Now, whether this means Schafer is actually in talks for the part is not clear. Now, Schafer has become a highly sought after talent since her breakout role on Euphoria and has gone on to appear in The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and now, Mystique was played by Rebecca Romaine, as y'all know. Y'all spell Romaine's last name wrong. It's Romign, I think. They spelled Romaine like the damn letters. I am screaming. In the 20th Century Fox franchise of Jennifer Lawrence from X-Men First Class on, where Jennifer Lawrence irked my nerve because she was the one, she was bitching so much about having to put. I'm okay. Well, fuck. You want to play Mystique? You got to know that you got to go through the shit. Rebecca Romaine didn't complain when she had to sit up there back when she was Stamos down to when she was Romaine. And then got with what the hell's his name? Jerry O'Connell. She ain't complaining all the time. She had to put all that makeup on. How you complaining? And you wonder why your career's in I mean, I like Jennifer Lawrence, but now she wonder why her career's in the shitter. Except I did hear that she is doing a cameo along with Josh Hutcherson in the new um Hunger Games movie that they're doing with about a young Haymitch. They said because they make an appearance in the book or something or another. But anyway, so now rumor has it that the core team will consist of the OG mutant heroes from the comics, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Angel, and Iceman, which means there's a good chance Mystique will once again take on an antagonistic role, possibly alongside her adoptive daughter, Rogue. Now, it's interesting because I'm like, damn, so then when we going to get Storm? Because, you know, people going to get mad. Why we don't have Storm up in here? And then you got to explain to people, oh, here y'all go. I don't want to put the black woman up in there. And they're going to be like, look, we're going by this group of X-Men, the original, group. I was going to say core four, but it was actually five. It was five. Like I said, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Angel, and Iceman. They were the original five before Storm and Wolverine and all these other people came and Jubilee. Remember Jubilee? We don't get a proper Jubilee up in a damn movie. That was another thing too that annoyed me about the X-Men. Y'all be doing. They did Jubilee dirty so many times. We ain't get. She was just downgraded to a bona fide cameo every time we would see her. She'd be in the classroom sitting at the desk in her little yellow jacket, and y'all be thinking that's enough. No, I want to see her set off some fireworks. So that used to get me tight about that. But anyway, who knows? Maybe Jubilation will pop up down the road sometime. But now speaking of road, I remember a couple of weeks ago on the hot mic, Jeff Snyder mentioned that he said two names of who Marvel is looking at. Didn't say they were cast. He said they're looking at them. So I hate when people misconstrue stuff. One of the names they said of who they was thinking about being Rogue, I said Vogue, Rogue You know who I actually thought? I was like, it'd be cute if they had Keke Palmer being Rogue. But when I heard this other name, I was like, oh no, I want her to play her. So they said Odessa Azion, who Odessa, y'all may not know or maybe familiar with the name. She was in Marty Supreme, which you can finally watch at home on streaming service. I think it's on HBO Max now. She was in Marty Supreme. But where I know Odessa from, and people seem to forget this, she was in the Hellraiser remake with another woman who was trans, who played Pinhead. Yeah, they had, because if you actually read the book, Pinhead is genderless. Like Pinhead could be anybody. It could be a man, it could be a woman, it could be whatever. But because Doug Bradley played the role, everybody automatically assumes that Pinhead was a man. Pinhead was very sexually ambiguous. So, or if you want to talk about gender ambiguous, that's even a thing. But yeah. So he said Odessa Azion, and I was like, I think it's because of the hair, and I think she could do a Southern accent, like, or would that be Cajun? Because where's she from? Louisiana or is it Georgia? I can't remember where she from. She from the South. We'll just say that. So, I think I could definitely see her playing Rogue. And then they said Peter Claffey could play is they're looking at him as playing Beast. Now, for those who don't know who Peter Claffey is, you may not be familiar with the name, but if you've ever seen the show A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, he is the one that played Dunk, the one that was running around with the little boy in the show. Which I actually love their dynamic together, and I'm looking forward to A Night of the Seven Kingdoms season 2. I think he make a great Beast. Number one, he's tall, he's a big guy, he's actually cute too, and I think also because from when he's on A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, he kind of plays like this happy-go-lucky, real clumsy, and I think it's because of the height thing. Like sometimes when you're big, there's moments where he tries to make himself small so he can kind of fit in with everybody, and then like little slapstick things will happen. Which is like, oh yeah, we could totally relate to that. Like we feel where you're coming from. So I actually like those choices. So hopefully it does happen. But and you already know, well, maybe you don't know, but Jake Schreier, who directed Thunderbolts, is directing the upcoming X-Men movie. And even though Thunderbolts didn't do that well, I went to the movies to see Thunderbolts. I had a great time with Thunderbolts. I enjoyed the film. I love the mental health angle they took with it. And with him kind of doing that, maybe that's why they looked at him as wanting to do X-Men, because he can kind of go in and bring out that, because X-Men are seen as others. They're seen as like people who aren't necessarily connected within the community or whatever the case is. They're outsiders, they're misfits, that sort of thing. And he could play into that. So while he was able to bring that whole mental health thing to life in the Thunderbolts movie, you can talk about those things about discrimination and diversity. I don't think you have to be a homosexual or black. I mean, you could bring extra nuance to it if you are those others. And who knows what Jake Schreier been through in his life that he could find some type of relatability to bring to the thing. Because what was it? Brian Singer, he was a homosexual and he was Jewish. So he understood how to bring that Holocaust angle to life and make it believable with Magneto, plus a lot of the gay undertones, like the scene in X2, where Iceman is coming out to his parents as a mutant, which we all know was a metaphor for coming out as a homosexual. So we all got that. So I'm looking forward to the movie. Um, Well, damn, they actually mentioned the whole thing. Well, hold on, because they did mention. See, I ain't read this whole article. They did mention something about Jubilee up in here. Hold on, because I was sitting there doing a whole rant about why we don't have Jubilee on the screen. So yeah, they said, yeah, what is it? Jake Schreier. Oh, they said, well, basically, Sonny Lee Sung Jin. That's a lot of names. Sonny Lee Sung Jin from Beef and Joanna Callow from The Bear are gonna write the script or write a draft of Michael Leslie's script. So Michael Leslie originally wrote the script. They're gonna come in and probably take some of his ideas and add a little extra seasoning to the gumbo. So yeah, they said I love Gambit. I also love a lot of the side characters. I love Jubilee. Everyone goes for Cyclops and Wolverine, but for me, growing up, I always loved the supporting members. While this shouldn't be taken as any kind of confirmation that Gambit or Jubilee will be part of the rebooted team. I mean, even though we know Gambit is going to be. Wait, is he? I think he is in. Gambit is in the not the reboot, but the Doomsday film. I think that was mentioned because he did said he had a fight scene with Pedro Pascal, Alan Cumming mentioned that. So they said while it should be taken as any kind of a confirmation that they're going to be in the film, it could suggest that there will be more of a focus on certain characters that have been underutilized in the past. And so actually hoping like, yeah, even like some of your most underutilized characters will get some shine. Because I do hate us like, yeah, let's just focus on the main characters and not on these other people. Like give them a moment as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing all this when it goes down. And I really am got my fingers crossed that Hunter Schafer gets the part. Because I think it would be cool to have a trans woman playing a character that kind of is in so many ways there's trans metaphor up in someone who changes gender or changes their look or changes whatever, that what better than a trans woman, because Hunter's gorgeous, she's tall, she kind of has that whole embodiment, but I don't know if she got the physicality, but they'll have to work on that with the training. Because one of the things I've always loved about the X-Men movies was the fight sequences with Mystique, the Rebecca Romaine Mystique, and I liked a lot of those fight sequences with her. So um, I'm looking forward to seeing this when it's finally developed. I think we'll probably in the next couple of years we'll be able to get that. Maybe the next 2 years after, who knows? Maybe after Secret Wars. I'm assuming that we should be getting a new X-Men movie, but we'll just have to see. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this rumor that Hunter Schafer is being considered to play Mystique in the X-Men reboot that they're working on? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. I didn't care for the latest Hunger Games book. They made Hey Mitch too similar to Katniss. Oh, that's the worst too. Like when you basically start reheating your own nachos because you want to keep the whole franchise going. So I'm gonna just make the character the same. That would be the worst. Anyway. All right, y'all. So now let's get into some music news. And let's talk about Zayn Malik, who can't seem to catch a break out here in these good old streets. Because it's like, look, you finally getting back to basics where Konnakol, and I heard it the other day, because I remember that friend to the show, Cleveland, was talking about that the album wasn't that great. And then he said, I must have been tired of something because I listened to it again. It was good. And don't get me wrong, I listened to it. I was like, let me listen to it on my way home from work. Because it was a long ass commute from the city. So I went and I put the album on. I was like, okay, this boy is coming in with the harmonies. It's giving me mind of mine, tease in that way. It's a really good record. I love, and Konnakol is basically like making sounds with your mouth or whatever the case is. So that's where he got that title from. And I like the fact that he was bringing a lot of his heritage up into the music. So it's a good record, but it seemed like, yeah, Zayn can't catch a goddamn break because, once the album came out, there was word that he got into a fight with Louis Tomlinson because apparently they was doing a reality show together or something or another for, I don't know if was it for Netflix, like a 3-part docu-series or whatever the case was. That I don't know what's going on with that. Apparently they said that Zayn put pause on Louis, put him in the hospital. Then next thing you know, we seen the footage of Zayn in the hospital, hooked up to a bunch of stuff, talking about that he got an illness or whatever the case is. I don't know if it got anything to do because he's in his early 30s, but that boy smokes like a chimney. So I don't even know if, and he's got a great voice. You don't need to be putting all that damn cigarettes or whatever you smoking up in your lungs. But yeah, you need to leave that stuff alone. But apparently, he's so sick, he canceled all the US dates of his tour. He didn't cancel all the other ones, but he canceled the US one. So let's get into it. So, former One Direction singer Zayn Malik, who was hospitalized last month with an unspecified illness, has canceled all US dates for his 2026 tour behind his Konnakol album, which was released on April 17th. However, dates in the UK and Mexico later this month, which take place before the US tour, was scheduled to begin are still on sale on his website. Now, in a statement to his Instagram, the former One Direction member announced that the US 2026 tour dates have been scrapped. He said the following: to my fans, thank you so much for all the support and love you've shown me on the album release, and more importantly, your love, prayers, and well wishes for my health. This is what the statement wrote. I mean, this is what the statement reads on his IG stories. I felt it and it's meant the world. I've been at home recovering and I'm doing well and will be better and stronger than before. All right, Brittany, you stronger than yesterday? Now, the singer has been hospitalized last month with an unspecified illness. He said, I've had to take another look at my schedule for the months ahead and have to reduce the number of shows on the Konnakol tour. I want to make sure I still get out there and see as many of you as I possibly can. I'm really looking forward to playing these shows for you, and I hope to see the rest of you around the world very soon. Now, they said earlier this year he showcases talent at his Las Vegas residency at the Dolby Live. Although U.S. fans won't get to see the Konnakol tour, ticket sales for dates in Europe and Mexico are still ongoing. Malik shared a link to the cities where he will be touring in support of Konnakol, his fifth studio album. The Konnakol tour will now start on May 23rd in London, where Malik will perform at the O2 Arena. The singer will travel to Manchester the next day and perform at the AO Arena. It will be on June 14th when Malik performs at Estadio Borregos in Monterrey, Mexico, with another show set for June 17th in Guadalajara and another one on June 20th in Mexico City. So is that like what? 5 dates? Now, they said after his tour dates in Mexico, he will travel to South America, where he will perform in Santiago, Chile on October 2nd, Buenos Aires, Argentina, October 6th, Sao Paulo, Brazil, October 10th, and Lima, Peru on October 14th. He must have a heavy Hispanic audience if he's going to do all those. He's doing a bunch of South American dates and Mexico and all these other places. Now, they said Malik's first U.S. appearance would have been July 19th at the Xfinity Mobile Arena in Philly, followed by Pittsburgh, Milwaukee, St. Paul, Chicago, Indianapolis, Nashville, Phoenix, San Diego, Inglewood, Anaheim, San Francisco, and Seattle. You wasn't even coming to New York. Ciao, bye. Like, how was it that Niall Horan and Harry Styles, two out of the members of, I think Louis Tomlinson, oh, wait a minute. I think Louis Tomlinson is doing a date at the Garden, and I don't think it's Niall Horan. I think it's Louis Tomlinson, and it's of course Harry Styles is doing 30 dates at the Garden. He's got a whole residency. So how they doing my job and you're not? You're gonna take that slot that in New York that Megan Trainor done turned down because she was supposed to come there and she decided to cancel her whole damn tour because nobody listening or cares about that music she putting out, quiet as it's kept. But you could have came there. But they said he was supposed to close out the tour in Miami on November 20th. So I'm like, child, you wasn't even coming to New York. So we don't care. I'm kidding. Um, I was like, wait, what's going on? Anyway, so good luck to you, Zayn. Whatever's going on with you, hopefully get your help together. I don't know what's going on with you, but this child, every time he got a new album coming out, there's always some damn issues with him. So I don't know what to say. So on this note, um, good luck to you, sir. But in the meantime, I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story regarding Zayn Malik canceling another one of his tour dates? It always seems like every album he comes out with, there's always some issues with his live performances, his tours, whatever the case is. I mean, from what I was hearing is that the live tour is not doing bad, that he actually was selling tickets to the Konnakol tour because he was going back to the old way that he was doing music and stuff, that he was bringing it back to the beginning because I wasn't liking these little detours he was taking with the music. To me, when I look at um someone like Zayn, he to me is like this generation. Remember Jay Sean from back in the day? Like he was a South Asian who was doing like R&B and that sort of thing. I don't know what happened to him. He came out with Down and his career went down right along with that damn song. But for the most part, it's like Zayn coming from One Direction, he had that whole like urban vibe going for him. And I would have loved that if he would have taken that um direction. That other direction, not One Direction, but the other direction. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Oh my god, hold on, because my job is getting on my damn nerves. I know I should not be doing this live, but I don't know. I got some weird little text. So now I gotta check something. Because with the Knicks winning yesterday, um, a lot of crazy stuff has been going on. So my schedule has been like all over the place. It's fluctuating, it's changing. I'm like, what is happening? So many different things is happening. So schedule's gonna get changed. Work situation is gonna be happening. So um May is gonna be a relatively interesting month for me. Not that I'm complaining, because I love a coin. So but anyway, let's see what the people's over here saying. Happy Friday, everyone. Heading to the gym. Yes, come on, leg day. I haven't been to the gym all week, but I'm going tomorrow though. I'm gonna get up early because my call time is 4:30 p.m. So I need to so I'm probably gonna have to leave my house like 11 o'clock and go hit the gym because I have not been all week. I miss working out. But after working that double shift yesterday, my feet felt like cement. Like I was working so much. And then it was like I think I worked like 5-6 hours yesterday doing that Peso Pluma concert. That concert started late. He was supposed to come on at 8:30. He didn't go on until about 9:30. And let me tell you something, that boy Tito that he was co-headlining with, I was like, why he look like a shorter Hassan Piker? First of all, that boy, he got a cute little ass too. And just like a little short, I don't know if he's Mexican, whatever. Well, I know Peso Pluma is. But Tito, I was like, he looked like a shorter version of Hassan Piker. And Hassan, funny enough, was in New York because he went and did an interview with Ebro Laura Rosenberg. Laura Rosenberg has been taking a week off because one of her best friends, who's a DJ, passed away, and they had like a whole thing on the show. So she's been out, but Rosenberg and Ebro did an interview with Hassan Piker. So, and Hassan is tall and got a big old ass, so that ain't him. But and you said yes, I love Konnakol, but worst girl in America. Child, who you telling? First of all, I still have her on repeat. I was about to listen to the album yesterday, and then I was looking at my thing because I forgot. By the time I left, it was like, by the time I was like waiting for the subway and everything, it was like midnight. So I was like, let me just scroll through my music, see what's out. So I saw Melanie C drop Sweat. I was like, oh no, hold down, bitch. Let me put this record on. I listened to the album. Let me tell you something. If you need something to work out to from beginning to end, I mean, there's some slow songs on there, but it's got a beat behind it. So it's not gonna be like one of those, oh, it's a ballad. No. Everything got an 808 behind it with Melanie C. She gave you a full-fledged dance record. So if you wanna listen to something that's gonna have you literally working up a sweat, hence the album's title, check out Melanie C. Funny enough, when I was talking about it on my social medias, people were like, I didn't even know Melanie C was still dropping music. I'm like, what the fuck y'all been? But that's where I come in. Is I gotta remind you hoes on what y'all got to be out. If you are into dance music, a house head, whatever the case is, this is who y'all should be listening to. Because a lot of people don't be knowing. All those boys eat off one D. You mean one dick or one D? The only one truly popping outside the band is Harry. Yeah, he is. And now he out here running around engaged to that serial fiance, Zoe Kravitz. How many times that bro been engaged? Anyway. Huh, I don't know because I don't know. It confused me because I was like, "Wait a minute, y'all trying to say I'm not working tomorrow because I got something?" I mean, they were telling me that I got to look out for the round two schedule. Then I got um I don't know. I got some weird message, so they had me confusions. I am confusion in regards to like a schedule situation. I was like, "Wait a minute now, bitch. I know y'all not trying to tell me I ain't working tomorrow because I am." Anyway, y'all need to hear about my work woes. Oh shoot, I just forgot. I gotta have my other thing open. I'm all over the place today, y'all. Forgive me. I was like, wait a minute, you need your notes. Because how you gonna do a show and you don't have your situations situated? Because I can't be up in here looking like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay, I got the topic. Anyway, let's move on, y'all. And let's talk about Danta. You know, I love saying that. Madonna, Madonna. Finally dropped the single, Bring Your Love with Sabrina Carpenter. You know, whenever I change people's names, it's my version of being, you know, that's my version of a term of endearment. So yeah, she dropped the single, finally got to hear it the way it's supposed to be heard, because we all heard the first. I know some people are like, but I didn't listen to it when it was like, "Rah." I was like, so none of y'all was actually being nosy and wanted to hear the new song when when she came and brought Madonna out night to a Coachella. Me, of course, because it was anything Madonna related. Y'all already know I watched the Coachella performance. I stayed up and waited to watch the Coachella performance and absolutely loved it. The fact that you have diva in training, Sabrina, collaborating with an icon like Madonna. And what I love about their collaboration is the fact that people were always complaining that they felt like Madonna was always bringing people, doing duets with people because she was trying to pull in a younger audience. And in so many ways, you can kind of look at it this way. But I feel like the difference between what she used to do back in the day when she would latch onto these little rappers and doing those songs, and it kind of always came across as, oh, she's trying too hard to pander to a younger audience. I don't know if it was Interscope that was pushing for that for her, but you know, post Confessions, because after Confessions, we got Hard Candy. And that's when she started messing with Timbaland and Pharrell. And by that time, I already said, like, it just seemed like to me Madonna was chasing the trends instead of setting them, because when she worked with Timbaland and Pharrell, Timbaland and Pharrell already had like their specific sound. Their sound was getting a little watered down because everybody and their damn mama worked with them because they wanted everybody wanted to hit. So it was hard to get distinguished. Except I could say this about Pharrell. One thing I do love about Pharrell is that millions of people can work with him, and he still will find a way to make his music fresh and new and work specifically for that artist. Everybody else would just be sounding like, okay, this beat literally is from so and so, and you don't sound no different being on this beat. It could be anybody um with a vocal ability that's singing behind this beat, and the beat is basically helping them with the hit rather than this person standing out. So it always felt like, even though Hard Candy's a fun album, the music was overriding Madonna's like it felt like it was Madonna was kind of like fading in the background in so many ways, but I had a good time with a lot of the tracks, particularly more Pharrell stuff than the Timbaland stuff. So when we get back to this album with Confessions 2, which I'm actually liking the two songs so far, um, you know, especially Bring Your Love. Yes, it sounds like a 90s track that we've heard before, like 90s house. It does give you that nostalgia vibe. But the thing I love about the song, it sounds fresh, it sounds new, it sounds like it takes me back, but it's like, oh yeah, it feels different. And one of the things that annoyed me is when I listened to the song yesterday, because I finally got around to listen to it late at night because I was busy working. I was so mad I missed the Knicks game, although I did catch the highlights. Atlanta, damn, y'all got your ass beat. But so watching all of that and everything, and then working the concert and all other stuff. So I finally got around to listen to this song, and like hearing it in my headphones, it just felt like a breath of fresh air. I literally listened to it back to back to back 3 times because I wanted to catch all the different nuances. And even a little talk thing in the beginning, because I'm hearing like this is going to be similar to Confessions, where it's going to be a transitional thing, which is like it flows and blends into the next track. So maybe that piece in the beginning with the talking is going to help with that. So yeah, they're out. And what I guess what I wanted to say before is that Sabrina feels like she's coming into Madonna's world versus Madonna trying to jump into the Sabrina world and to pander to the young people. I think with Sabrina being on this Madonna track, and a lot of the young Gen Zers are starting to discover Madonna, they're falling in love with Madonna. This is their first era where they can be in the moment, in the zeitgeist, and react to her new era of music versus what I've been watching a lot of these young Gen Z YouTubers who've been reacting to her videos, looking at her old concert footage, watching Confessions tour and all the other different tours and reacting to it, watching them look at past stuff she's done. Now they're old enough to be able to kind of ride this new era, and we can kind of see how they feel about this whole situation. So I'm loving that for them, because my first era of me really getting to be in the whole Madonna thing, this might age me, but I don't care. Um, the bedtime stories era. That was like the first time I was able to have money to go to the store and buy a CD. That first ever Madonna CD was the bedtime story album. So, stories, because the song is called Bedtime Story, album Bedtime Stories. Y'all know. So I'm looking forward to Bring Your Love, but we're gonna do something different on this channel, honey. We actually gonna play the song. So let's play the visualizer, and I want y'all to go along with me and whatever, because this is actually the first time I'm actually gonna be watching it. So we're gonna watch the visualizer, and then we're gonna come back and talk. Look, if I have to delete it from the situation, um, we'll do that. But in the meantime, let's all gather around as a class and get into her.
Sabrina, Madonna. I got something I want to talk about. Don't comment on my ideas. I don't want your judgment or your expectations. Don't want me up like a toy. Your vision of me is a killer of joy. I know where the bodies are buried. Don't try to shut me up. Don't try to distract me with numbers. I did it all for love. Realize, 'cause you cannot shake me. Realize, 'cause you'll never break me. Realize, 'cause you cannot take me down. Don't rely on my moral compass. All my discretion, I have a confession. Don't shove your fears down my throat before I can speak. I can't even breathe. I know where the bodies are buried. Don't try to shut me up. Don't try to distract me with numbers. I did it all for love. Bring it, Sabrina. You got something to say about it. Realize, 'cause you cannot shake me. Realize, 'cause you'll never break me. Realize, 'cause you cannot take me down. Realize, 'cause you cannot shake me. Realize, 'cause you'll never break me. Realize, 'cause you cannot take me down. Don't wanna come promise. I made the sacrifice. I always pay the price. And I don't wanna. I have a confession. I did it all for love. 'Cause you cannot shake me. 'Cause you'll never break me. 'Cause you cannot take me down. Sabrina, I got something I want to talk about.
All right. So there you have it. I was like, we had to play that song up in here, honey. Bring your love, 'cause you cannot shake me. 'Cause you cannot break me down. It's like, yes, God, honey. It's like, shout out to you, Miss Mamas. All right now. So now, I remember hearing other people sitting there saying that we need a music video. We need music videos. I hope they recorded one. I'm like, yeah. I mean, didn't y'all hear? I guess maybe they haven't been having their ears to the streets and kind of been this little Madonna spy like the rest of us. But there have been rumors that, well, not rumors, but we've seen footage of like they were Madonna was over in London. A lot of people said Sabrina Carpenter was on set. There was a spotting that, yeah, they shot a music video together. So I think what had happened was the video, there was some, she didn't like how some of the product was. And I guess they maybe went in, did a little additional reshoots. And so now the video is up to par. And who knows when we should be getting this video, but I'm thinking we should be getting it in the next couple of days. I'm liking the fact that they're not doing this whole thing. Like, yeah, we're going to give you the song and we're not going to do the thing where we give the song and the video at the same time, because too many artists have been doing that. I also like the idea that Madonna's been running around giving, doing the whole club promo thing. And I wish more artists would do that. Too many times people rely on social media to do the promotional thing for their single, the video, the album, whatever the case is. I'm just glad that Madonna's taking it old school, and maybe she'll revitalize a lot of the younger generation being like, you know what, I'm going to do a club appearance. I'm going to bring a DJ and we're going to play a mix and all this other stuff and have people come in and see me promote my new single or whatever the case is. And we give a DJ set, we party, we have a good time. I mean, that would be a great way to revive the nightclub scene, especially the homosexual club scene, where the promoters can start bringing in a lot of musicians and having them come in. If you're into the whole house scene, that we come up in the club, we promote the music that way, and y'all be up in there party. We kiki. I got my little VIP section. Or then again, I wouldn't want to feel like I got to be sitting alone in VIP. Can't abuse, but I would want to kind of set up this whole situation of like, I want to be feeling like I have my little VIP section, but I'm still like close enough where I can kiki with the regular people so they can see I'm of the people. And it's not me being performative and fake, but um, so there's that. But so far, I feel so free. I love the song because it's rooted in the whole deep house situation. It's an underground vibe of a song. Then we have track 2, track 3, which we don't know what they are, and track 4, of course, is Bring Your Love, because that's what she called it before we found out that that was the song that she was going to be releasing. So far, I'm loving this era. I'm liking the fact that, as a sequel to Confessions, we're getting a house album, because the previous record, whether you want to believe it or not, with Confessions 1 was not a house record. It was rooted in disco. It was rooted in all these different 70s and 80s music and that sort of thing. And it kind of brought that into the future. Now, when you look at this album, it's definitely going to give us that 80s, 90s house, which I'm loving. And so as long as and this song definitely feels like a single. It's easy, it's fun, it's 3 minutes, give or take. So it's literally it's a good song built for radio. So she'll go number 1, of course, with it. And hopefully this brings Sabrina fans into Madonna's world, and they're like, we like this song. I also hope that after this record, this might inspire Miss Carpenter to want to branch out and do a couple of little dance, like go into the dance music direction, because their voices complement each other on this record. So I would like to see Sabrina come out of that she foo foo squeaky clean girly, because that's what I don't particularly. That's why I'm not particularly Christina, a Sabrina fan, is because her music is a little too girly for me. And I understand, like, look, I ain't the demographic for it, or everybody ain't my demographic, and I don't expect them to be. But when it comes down to Sabrina, I like some of her songs, but I'm not really that big of a fan because, like I said, her stuff is a little too girl. I like a little edge with my women. So, so far we got 2 singles. We got "I Feel So Free" and we have "Bring Your Love." So I'm excited for this era. I like the way they're rolling out the album. July can't get here fast enough, but I don't want to rush it. It's in 2 months. But and so I can wait a little longer. Before you know it, it'll be here. So yeah, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of the new single? Are you loving it? Um, oh, do y'all feel like this is the song of the summer? Because y'all know last year we didn't have a song of the summer. Everybody, that was the big thing. Everybody was complaining. I don't think we got a song of the summer. None of these songs is popping. None of these songs is hitting or give me what I need and all this other stuff. And trust and believe, I didn't get that vibe with any of the songs last year. But I think in 2026, we might have to call "Bring Your Love" the song of the summer. And summer ain't here yet. It'll be here in 2 months. No, actually in a month and a half, because June. So yeah, It'll be here next month. It'll be summer. So I don't think it's early to say this is the song of the summer, but it's definitely got song of the summer tease, a song of the summer vibe. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you think of this new single from Hunter and Sprinter? Are you living for it? Is it a chop? If it's a chop, I'm gonna chop you. But so nothing but positivity on it. Yeah, I'm being a stan. Nothing but positivity up in here with this song. But even if you're not feeling it, I'm not gonna cuss you out. Like, let me know if you don't like it, whatever. But let me know your overall thoughts of the song in the comments down below. How dare you? You said Hard Candy was her best album. Mm-mm. I would not go that far. But everybody's got their distinctive taste on what they feel is a Hard Candy album. You know, I live for a Madonna debate. But if I had to choose, like, one of my favorite Madonna albums, yeah, I would say is Bedtime Stories because that was the very first album that I bought of hers. Um, what else? I love True Blue, that album. Of course, Ray of Light, Confessions, Erotica, child, because of the spoken word, the poetry. There's so many different, errors and reasons of why I like certain albums from Madonna. It all depends on my mood. But I can tell you what song I hate, Bring Me All Your Lovin' or Give Me All Your Love. I hate that song. But you said Bring Your Love is a good radio single, but absolutely, I feel so free too. Bring Your Love is good for radio. We see what they're doing. It's business. So I'm not that mad because I understand business and why they doing what they doing. But I do agree. I Feel So Free is a song that I prefer over Bring Your Love. I also wish they released the music video yesterday, but they can capitalize on the moment. And I think that's what she wants to do. She wants y'all to take in the song, live for the songs, and be like, oh my God, and people are responding to it by saying, I'm so hungry for the video. Where's the video? I hope there's a video. And then watch her in a couple of days drop the video. So I like that Madonna is someone who loves teasing her fans. She loves dangling the carrot. And to me, leaving the fans hungry for more is more interesting to me than me feeding y'all too much and then you not appreciating and basking in the moment. So people need to kind of take it back to that. Stop always just giving people so much. And sometimes I understand like people are greedy, they're a little gluttonous at times, but let me give it a little bit. So it's like, let me tease you a little bit. Let me give you a little bit of that IV drip. Even though I know you in pain. It said, hello, I like the song. I'm not expecting much from a Sabrina house track to begin with. So this is my first Madonna era as a fan. See, that's what I said. A lot of the Gen Zers, this is like their first era because that way they're old enough to understand what's going on because it's been 7 years since she dropped an album. Onyx says, I like the song. I'm not expect. Oh, yeah, I read that already. I love how you're playing the full song, not giving a fuck. I just know the season 19 queens are going to have a field day with this. Meaning what? Oh, you think that, oh, yeah, they're going to perform that song? That would be cute. Poor Little Monsters. Gaga issued a soundtrack nobody asked for. Yeah, because nobody's talking about that album. And then now I think I'm going to go back on what I said because now a lot of people are saying that The Devil Wears Prada is not that good of a movie. Warner knows what they're doing. Might be old school, but these kids will. And people are liking the old school approach. I know there's some people that's complaining, but there are people who are liking the old school approach. And the fact that Madonna is a legacy act, she's an older artist, so you have to take the old school approach for her instead of trying to force this Gen Z new tech type of approach to promoting the record. We'll learn doing it old school is also appreciated because Zayn also canceled his tour and it's coming that labels went by numbers. Followers are now realizing you can't be in the matrix. They're waking up and realizing followers don't mean tickets. That's true. You got to be out. You got to really be out there promoting the record. Yes, social media helps for a lot of artists, particularly if you're a smaller artist, but you really got to be out here doing the footwork. I like the first verse for Runway, but that's it. The lyrics have a little bite. Music and hook are meh. I like the music of the Madonna trap better, and the hook isn't annoying, but that's about it. I haven't been on the evil tweet evil tweet app all week, so I don't know what people are saying about it. But when I watch the Needle Drops stream, someone said "Rain on Me" by Gaga and Ariana. If girl, get out of here. That motherfucker wish it was "Rain on Me." Rain on Me. Fuck out of here with that tight ass track. Rather, I still don't even understand what the hell that song means lyrically. I'd rather be dry, at least I'm alive. Like, what the fuck is she even talking about in there? Are you talking about alcoholism? I'm confusion. Like, what is that song about? Rain on Me. You want a golden shower? I mean, is that what it is it about piss play? Somebody inform me. What the hell does rain on me mean? Making it rain with some coins? Like, what we talking about, Willis? He said he'd rather listen to this 15 times over that Madam X album. Child, don't even get me started on that record. Yeah, but the little monsters hated Madonna since she called Born This Way reductive. I mean, it kind of was. It's basically express yourself. Sprinkle a little faggot juice on it, and of course the gays to eat it up. And you said, I showed Chris a pic where a guy went clubbing and the go-go twink stopped dancing because they're all little baby critters. But we don't care about them. First of all, I like men with ass, so we don't care about what the fuck the twinks gotta say. And you said, so it was obvious young gays felt that Madonna coming for their fave is evil, but that's New York for you. Don't be putting all of us in that, because I was like, I'm a New Yorker. Cher called Madonna tacky. Madonna threw it back and said, child, first of all, I know Sharon calling somebody tacky. At least at least Dolly Parton wears her tackiness on her sleeve. That's what we love about her. Damn, Bob Mackie is tacky, and Cher is tacky, and anybody knows tacky is Cher. I do love Bob Mackey's designs, though. I ain't gonna hold you. I feel bad for Doechii being on such a bad song. You ain't the first one to say this. Everybody's been going in and said, "Damn, Doechii, why you had to go and jump on this track?" Because she's an up and coming artist who is going to be more affected. That is true, because it's like when you're up and coming, people are gonna be looking at you a certain way. They're not gonna. It looks bad on you because yeah, Gaga's not gonna be affected. I was like, wait, what happened? Was that it? I think it was. But anyway, I was like, yeah, I was gonna take a risk and play that track. Now we gotta delete it later. We'll delete it. But not before I edit it and I post it on my other platforms. But for YouTube, we'll have to take it out. It's gonna be interesting to see how we gonna do this whole how we gonna play the album when we do the release, well, the listening party. Trying to figure out how to do that, because I remember it was another thing I was watching. Some people was getting mad. I think it was the two gay mats or whatever they were talking about. They said that people was getting mad when they were reviewing Beyonce's Renaissance because it flows into the thing. Of course, something Madonna did first. They the songs flow into each other and you keep stopping. I'm like, look, if y'all want to listen, and I'm gonna say this here, if people want to jump in the when you stop stopping to think, first of all, suck my dick from the back, and number two, we're gonna stop and start after the song because I want to give my overall thoughts. If you want to listen to the album with no interruptions, you can do that on your time. You can put on your Apple Music or your Spotify and you can listen to the album how you want to do it. But if you're going to watch commentary, excuse me, which is what I'm giving of each song, you're going to have to watch me interrupt and give my opinions because I'm not going to, there's no way in hell that I'm going to be able to sit and hold my thoughts because the album is 16 tracks. So let's just say the album is an hour long, right? Why the hell I'm holding all my thoughts for each track for an hour? Are you bugging? Like, what you think this is a fucking computer? I mean, in so many ways, your brain is a computer, but we only retain thought but for so long. And yet you're like, well, get a pad and write it down. When you do your show how you want to do your show, you do your show how you do your show. But over here, we're gonna stop and start. Like I'm a DJ. Stop the beat, drop the beat, and all that stuff. So yeah, we're gonna be doing that. But I'm trying to figure out that whole thing because I'm trying to think, should I take yeah, I probably would. I'm gonna have to try to black out that day, July 3rd. Hopefully if there's nothing going on. So that way I could just stay home to review the album when it comes out. So I'm gonna figure that out. But I don't think I'm gonna do it the minute the album comes out because certain people say, I want to listen to the album first. You know who you are, Onyx. Wait, hold on, let me open this thing up because it's starting to act up. I mean, the comment thing. So I can read y'all stuff because this little thing that they got it in is so damn small. Oh wait, hold on now. I remember Troye Sivan called Janet the queen of everything or something along those lines when performing his latest album. Mind you, you said that shit, but if you saw his sweat tour with Miss XCX, who said dance music is dead, who was he up in that show emulating on that stage with the bed and the corset thing with the suit? Who wore that outfit? Wasn't Janet, but she the queen of everything. Okay, ma'am. Rain is turmoil. So rain on me is about appreciating life through bad. Oh, okay. Well, somebody had to break it down because I understand none of that shit she was talking about. It's like, child, I ain't sitting up in here doing a whole thesis on, okay, so rain. I'm like, rain is turmoil. Oh, yeah, it kind of is. I like the smell of rain. You two might strike, your strike, and possibly channel if you play the whole album, but I would look into it. Labels need to understand this also helps the artist spreading the tracks and reacting. I'm also dead. That's what I was saying. I was like, y'all don't realize that we're helping these artists get recognized when we come up on here and we give reviews of the records or we listen to it and we give our thoughts. I don't know why these labels don't think about that. I'm also, Demi James even said best crossover since Freddie versus Jason. That is funny. But you know, the straights love Madonna too. Mm. Thoughts on Kennedy Jr. fucking up his political future by refusing to denounce his family's victory or of a certain. Oh, you talking about that Schlossberg? First of all, with that last name, you should have known he was a damn Zionist. So there's that. I was like, wait a minute. I know I saw there was another comment in here that I saw, but I don't know where it went. Oh, this one. We said, can't wait to watch your reaction. Well, I can't wait to do it because I've never done a reaction video. I've been wanting to do them, and I don't want to have to get to a place where it's like, oh, I have to create a Patreon and all that other stuff. But um we'll figure it out, and I'll have to write a strongly worded letter to YouTube. Look, y'all need to stop bashing us fans for doing these videos because we come from a place of love. We're promoting the record, all that other stuff. Y'all over here hating because of y'all stupid ass algorithms or these greedy ass companies. But anyway, let's get back into the let's get back into the album. Let's get back into the show. And I guess we can go from talking about Madonna to Beyonce, because word on the street is that, of course, with Madonna and a bunch of other girls coming out with their new albums this year, there has been a lot of talk whether or not Beyonce is going to be releasing Act 3. Now, some of her fans, or aka the Beehive, have been doing a lot of sleuthing, and they believe that Beyonce is set to release or make an announcement about the new album on Monday, because Monday is the 4th, right? And may the fourth be with you. She's and so on Monday she's supposed to be making an appearance at the Met Gala. Which, child, don't even get me started with the political situation going on with the Met Gala, but I do be living for the fashion, so I'm not gonna hold you on that. But everything else that goes on with the whole Met Gala situation is like whatever. But she's supposed to be coming and making an appearance at the Met Gala, and people believe that she's going to be bringing some stuff up in regards to that whole situation around that time, which her publicist has denied. So now, as Beyonce Knowles Carter's highly anticipated Met Gala return nears, speculation is mounting that her Act 3 album rollout could be linked to the event. The 35-time Grammy winner is set to return to the Metropolitan Museum of Art's spring exhibition for the first time in a decade on May 4th. This time, Beyonce will step in as a 2026 co-chair alongside Nicole Kidman, Venus Williams, and Anna Wintour. Because I think they changed it, because last year it was like the whole, what's it, like Black Excellence or something or another. I forget what the whole thing was, but they had Coleman Domingo and Pharrell and all of them that was a part of that. Now, ahead of the Met Gala, dubbed fashion's biggest night in New York City, rumors have been circulating on social media that Beyonce might be making an announcement related to her next album. One fan account called at Bay's Catalog on Twitter alleged that the singer's next album will be announced in connection to the Met Gala, speculating that the lead single release could be scheduled for next month and a full album release this summer. However, that is unlikely to be the case because her longtime publicist, Yvette Knowles-Shore, rejected those claims, commenting on the fan's social media post that this is unequivocally false. An anonymous source also reportedly told Today that the singer's unannounced Act 3 won't be released next week. So, look, we've been hearing about this Act 3 trilogy since like 2022. We already got, what is it, Renaissance, which literally is supposed to be Act 2. Cowboy Carter was supposed to be Act 1. But because of the way the world was at the time, Beyonce decided, let me just release a house record. Which, if you really think about it, it would have made more sense for her to do the Cowboy Carter thing because A, it would have really been polarizing, which it turned out to be when the album was released, where you had all the discourse surrounding like Black people getting edutained about the history of Black people in country music, and white folks who literally want to gatekeep and colonize every damn thing, including art, getting all upset because you had this mainstream Black person who was jumping into a space they felt like was theirs. Although it's funny enough, I was sitting there watching the finale of All Star 6, because I've been binging RuPaul's Drag Race All Star 6, and they had them do This Is Our Country, which is a song between Tanya Tucker and RuPaul. So, the final four had to write their lyrics or whatever. And there was something that Tanya Tucker said that made a whole lot of sense. And I really wish that a lot of people in the country space would have taken heed to it, which was, she said that I loved it. Well, I think it was that Roger O'Hara asked her, how does she feel about all these different sounds, like hip hop and all these other different vibes coming into the country space? She's like, oh, I love the fact that we're evolving and the sound is evolving, and there's so many different sounds and things that are coming into the world of country music. And if people got a problem with it, then they need to go off and do something else. And I kind of wish that was the case, because it's funny how people like Jelly Roll and Post Malone and all these other people can come in and swagger jack Black culture, and then when the shit hits the fan, then they want to run back to their white constituents. But when Black people want to come in and do something that was originally a Black genre, because country comes from blues, that sort of thing, that history, then all of a sudden y'all want to come with the racial undertones, or y'all want to gatekeep, like how y'all doing Shabuzi, who out here tap dancing and still trying to get in that damn space. And Beyonce, who's like, yeah, I'm not bending the knee to come kiss y'all ass or to get along with it. Oh, well, you need to come hang out with us. Why I gotta do all that? You other people don't be wasting time coming over here trying to come into our shit and spending the time. But then again, the problem with Black folks is y'all invite anybody who got a little swagger to them on the white side to the cookout. They don't have to work as hard. But they want Black people to jump through hoops when it comes to wanting to come over on their neck of the woods, which I find hilarious. So I'm glad Beyonce didn't bend the knee to the foolishness over there with the country music people. She put out her music. She said what she said. She did her stadium tours. She pretty much had y'all all looking dumb out here with the financial settings of that whole thing, and she kept it pushing. So that's what I love about my Virgo sister. I told her I'm 2 days older than her, so I can say that. My Virgo sister. So it's like, when it comes to her and all of the stuff, I'm glad she did her big one, kept it moving. Now she's on to the next thing. And the Act 3 is supposed to be rock music, which I actually like. And child, I hope your rock music is way better than what that mess Charlie XCX claims she coming out with, because the fact of the matter, yeah, I'm throwing that dagger at her because of what she said about house music. You can't jump in the dance music space and then shit on it because you talking about the dance floor is dead. No, sis, maybe you got 2 left damn feet and you're not good in that whole space. But don't come up in here in my house, disrespecting my house, and then now you want to jump on the next genre because that whole DIY rock vibe is starting to come back. And people like, when you see like Slater has kind of found a way to bring the electronic stuff with the rock and the metal and all that other stuff, and has found a way to pretty much do you better than you, sis, quiet as it's kept. So looking forward to the record whenever it comes out. I think that if Beyonce wants to release music, Beyonce do it in like the third quarter or the fourth quarter of 2026, like maybe in the fall or whatever the case is. Because look, we got so many girls dropping music right now, and I'm living for all the girls, the pop girlies that's been releasing music. Zara Larson released a deluxe edition of or remix album, which I'm living for. Um, Melanie C dropped a new album, Sweat, which is great. Madonna's out here dropping singles, got a new album coming out in July. So we're gonna be eating good. In the movie front, which that's a whole different story, because a lot of great movies come out in 2026, and in the music side as well. So who knows when this record is coming out? But whenever it does, I'll be here to listen to it and talk about it and give my discourses and all that other stuff. But yeah, everybody out here making lies and fairy tales. And I was like, we could just wait until Monday to find out if the album gets released or there's any kind of announcement. But like they said, or maybe somebody be smart enough on the red carpet and ask her, so you got any announcements to make about the thing? Or unless Beyonce, one of those people, like, I'm only going to come out and do the pictures, but don't ask me no questions because I don't like talking in public. So it's one of those. But anyway, in the meantime, I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Do you believe that we could be possibly getting an announcement about Act 3 on Monday, or do you think that we'll be getting Act 3 sometime this year? So whatever your thoughts are on that matter. And, she has dabbled in rock music before. She worked with, because there was I forgot to mention, there was this post of her dropping the Stevie Nicks situation, because it was like, yeah, I wrapped this whole thing up, didn't even get to that part. So hold on. I was like, let me pull that up. So it was this. So it said Beyonce has removed all merch from Cowboy Carter. For Cowboy Carter from her website, she has posted an old interview with Destiny's Child Stevie Nicks. So some people think that she has Stevie Nicks on her upcoming album because she did sample Edge of 17 for Bootylicious, and she has worked with artists in the past. She has worked with what was it, Jack White produced. I don't know how many tracks did he produce on Lemonade, but I know she has collaborated with Jack White in the past. So she's dabbled in the whole rock music space and using a lot of those elements. So Beyonce is kind of like trying to solidify herself as just being this stereotypical black girl that sings R&B music, which in my opinion gets boring. I like when the black girls step outside their comfort zone and likes to mix and match different sounds. That's why I live for Rihanna, because Rihanna was like, I'm gonna be that island gal who does like different genres and different styles and kind of brings that whole international side to her music. And that's why I think she's become more of an internet. I mean, she loved it in America too, but she's become more of that international girl than anything, because she wasn't afraid to mix a plethora of different styles. I feel like that old big-headed ass child. What's that one that can't hold her own damn awards and had Hallie over there looking at her like, bitch, you done lost your mind. And the only one who was stupid enough to hold that damn award was Lil Nas X. I don't like that shit would have stayed right on the floor. Tyler, she trying to be the new Rihanna, but the music ain't musicking. So yeah. So she posted this, and that was what got the girlies all, sleuthing. So I just want to point that out before I forget. But yeah, in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from y'all regarding this whole situation. When do you think it's coming? Hopefully it'll be coming in the next year or two. But right now, I need my Madonna and everybody else. Beyonce, drop the shit later. We don't need you kind of come up in here and sabotage the thing. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. What I was gonna say, we don't need you out here trying to be the black Taylor Swift, because anytime somebody else want to come out with music, all of a sudden Taylor Swift want to come up in here and release 85,000 variants of the same damn record to sabotage that artist coming out releasing new music. It's like, we're not doing that, ma'am. I need you to go sit your ass down somewhere. And I'm talking about Taylor when I say that. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, I did see that songwriters list, child. When they got to Romeo Santos, I had to close that shit out. I'm like, what is this damn list? I forgot to mention that. That I was like, I don't know what that fucking list, but y'all really be out here trying to rage bait me. I'm not taking the bait no more. I hope we get a 2027 official calendar. I'm excited for the $34 book with the entire photo shoot. Did I get that? Well, I did buy the vinyl. which I don't know why. Oh, I know why. I accidentally hit the thing because I was just trying to buy it quick and get it over with. I'm paying for it in 2 different installments. I'm like, why would I do that? I could have just paid for it all up front. But I was like, look, I'll let them do the installment. The first installment payment, it starts tomorrow for the I think it was this. No, I paid for the CD first. It's the vinyl. Because I was sitting there like, I don't know why I did 2 different installments, but I think it was because I was click, 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 click. Can we hurry up? Because I hate when you got to go through all them 80,000 steps just to pay for something. I'm like, can I just put in my information, get it done and over with? Matthew Redman is loving the track as it's bringing him back to his youth. Yeah, I think that's another thing that it makes me feel like too. It just reminds me of so much when I was a young guy at the clubs, when I was going to the Roxy, when I was going to Twilo, when I was going to a lot of those clubs, when I was going to Splash. I lived in Splash. And that's what it was like when I told my friend Big Kim, the drag queen, who now lives in LA. She was like, "Yeah, I met her there." She was throwing a party on Wednesdays, an urban party. Child, the boys was fine as hell up in there. She was throwing a party up in there. I knew the DJs. I knew the bartenders. Child, I would get lit up in there after work. So those were the days. I'm glad I came up in the time I did because I feel like this generation now, like the whole club scene is just not the same anymore. But yeah, it was. I agree with it. It said that it was huge in the clubs, but not the charts, and was at a time when he was a horny gay youth needing to get laid, but having to avoid AIDS and HIV. But like he said, when you need the D, sometimes you did act careless because it was crucial to getting that. Well, yeah, we all been there, child. Trust and believe. There been many a times where I've had those scares. Thank God, I'm negative, but the stuff I was doing, I was like, not only should I have had the high five, but child, I shouldn't be alive because there was some uncompromising positions I would get into with some of these creepy ass men out here. Hold on, as I blow my nose. I told I am still sick. I can't wait until this situation is gone. I hate being under the weather, but I'm gonna mute my mic. I saw someone argue actor will be her black star, referencing David Bowie's last album where he seemingly gave up the mantle. I don't see Beyonce giving up the man. I mean, if she does, you think she gonna pass it down to Blue Ivy? I'm like, can Blue Ivy sing? That's the worst part about, I guess if you're a kid of someone as like the child of someone like a Beyonce, is like, damn, how do I not live up because people will try to make it say, how do you live up to your mother and all that. So that's all the media. They'll try to play that and start fucking with the kid's mind. But if she's grown up with a great foundation around her, I think that she can surpass that. But if you can find your own lane and do your own thing, but of course you got the backing of like your parents, and she's got that ability where she can get out there and want to be become the next generation and pass that torch down to her kid. I'm sure there's ways she can get around that. She would just have to figure out her identity because, Chad, we see they trying to do that. They trying to make Blue Ivy. I mean, not Blue Ivy. They trying to make Northwest happen. Like, child, if you don't go sit your no talent having ass down somewhere, daddy writing your damn lyrics to your songs. What you think? Who you think you are, Raven Simone? And you said a lot of people think House as Beyonce, Madonna brought Chicago House or other stuff. Renaissance is cute, but it didn't go hard. I mean, I felt like yeah, it flowed. Renaissance had all these different elements up in there, but if we really going to talk about like a house record, Renaissance was not deeply rooted in house. It had those moments, but we talking about like a real record from like beginning to end. Like if we gonna talk about house, we talking about Ultra Nate. We talking about like house artists who do house music. We gonna talk about Ultra Nate. We gonna talk about Crystal Waters. If we talk about stuff like that, that's what I feel like the vibe of what Madonna's bringing. Beyonce was not bringing that with Renaissance, and I love Renaissance, but that's not what I was getting with that record. I was getting entertainment because it was like, yeah, she was letting people know that the history of house as well as the Black queer community who were also the movers and shakers and the founders of that genre. So there's that. When you look at the history of popular rap songs, they're always a 1 year one. One Year Wonder White Rapper, whatever happened to, not Riff Rap, child, Black Bear, The Kid Leroy, Ian, Cray Sean, and Kevin Rudolph. Kevin Rudolph was white? I forgot what that boy looked like. The Kid Leroy, the last time I saw him was at Jingle Ball. That was the last time I saw him. But I thought the last whatever happened, and child, you forgot to put Jack Harlow up in there too. You said my favorite white rapper, Young Lean, admittedly did genre hop into more alternative music once he got sober, but he never gave up rapping altogether, unlike role model Jelly Roll and Post Malone. And also, you could add MGK up in there too. Beyonce isn't predictable. I'll engage when the album drops. I hope it's loud like B-Day if she really leaned in. Yeah, because there was a lot of rock elements in B-Day. And when she was doing that song, remember when she did that? What was the name of it? When she started working with Pharrell, when she did the music for, was it Austin Powers? There was some rock elements up in there. The Anna Morgan, please. And you said, and dry ass male music. Dry ass male music. Excuse me. Every girl is issuing music because they're not on tour this year, but there's no major Taylor Swift release happening. So I think it played into it. Well, that's good. We use a break from Miss Tay Tay. It's safe. There's no Taylor Swift. He said Beyonce would be better off waiting until the top of next year. Things feel Yeah, it does. I agree with that. There's way too many girls out here dropping music. And yeah, we know because Beyonce is Beyonce, she automatically has that backing that a group are gonna, the gays, the girls, and everybody in between is gonna go out there and support the music. But I do feel like, yeah, 2026 is definitely oversaturated with pop girlies dropping music. So I do think 2027, if you wait till next year, it'll definitely be your year. By that time, Madonna will be on tour. All these other girls will probably be out here on tour, and there'll be a lane for Beyonce to come through with. It's like, I'm gonna just drop music. Because it's like Slater's new album, I just can't turn that off. Demi Lovato had it's not what is it, the deluxe edition of her album is definitely hitting right now. She's currently on tour. So a lot of the girlies are dropping a lot of music. So we being fed, but I do agree. She should wait until the top of next year. I would love to hear Stevie and Beyonce. Another Jack White track would be fun, but he can't stand Trump. That's another reason why I like Jack White. But what I really want to hear is Beyonce and Haley Williams from Paramore. Now that would be the ultimate gag. Funny enough, Haley Williams was mentioned when I was scrolling through. When I was scrolling through the Twitter feed where they was talking about that, I bet not see no. Not Avril Lavigne, child. Avril Lavigne was basically what Olivia Rodrigo is today. Happy season 1 of Oh yeah, I forgot that comes out. I gotta watch that because Shudder just released Tales from the Crypt. And they say they're dropping a new season every week. I like to think Bay would lean more funkadelic and Prince with a dash of the other stuff. I would like Prince as an influence. I would also like if she did a Little Richard, a little Chuck Berry, if you bring that kind of vibe to it, like that old school, like rock and roll from back in the day. Also, if she could even go a little more, like bringing a little aggressive guitars, like channel Tina Turner as she has, and if she could bring a lot of those elements in there, like a lot of up-tempo rock songs with a band and bringing those girls in to kind of give that whole Tina Turner vibe, because Tina Turner ain't with us no more. So we need somebody to carry that mantle and bring that upon us. So I would love to see that vibe. Also, who else? So yeah, I definitely think that. I was even thinking Morris Day at the time, but yeah, that's all in the same wheelhouse when we're talking about Prince. So I'm sure those would be like the inspirations. Folks say they don't like the song, secretly already made up their mind they were going to hate it. What, the Madonna single? Because I was happy to see Fiona Apple. Oh yeah, I did see Fiona Apple on that list. A Young Thug, Jay-Z, and Taylor Swift gave good writing advice too. I know you're not big on frolicking through the daisies in a dress. Lyricism. Look, The one thing about Taylor Swift, she writes things that's distinctive to her. That's why the other day they did an American Idol episode where they were trying to do a Taylor Swift tribute night. And the whole story around it was that there was a lot of struggling going on with a lot of the contestants. And I said, that's because when it comes to certain artists, their sound cannot be duplicated. They're not some act that you can just get up there and sing their songs. There's certain people that you can't do that to. You can't cover. I don't think there's anybody out here that could really cover Madonna song and do it well. I don't think people can really cover a Prince song and do it well without people kind of giving you that look. Like, what are you doing? And I think Taylor Swift is the same way. Taylor Swift writes songs distinctive to who she is and her personality. And those are the artists that I like. Those who are unique in the way they create their songs that's distinctive to them instead of I gotta sound like this one or that one. I think what hurt the club scene is the cell phone recording everything. Child, not only that, but it's like it's at concerts and stuff too. Like all day when I was working at Peso Pluma concert, everybody phone up in the air the whole damn. I'm like, are y'all even watching it? Y'all even watching the concert? There was one artist that was there because when they positioned me, they put me by the B stage, which for those who don't know what the B stage is, that's the second stage. So when you have two stages, you have the main stage in the front, you have the B stage in the back. So at one point, yeah, they had initially they had me on the sixth floor, 117, 118. Or 116, 117, I can't remember. But they had me in one of the sections, and literally, if I was one section over, I would have literally been in the same section as Peso Pluma because at one point he comes down from 117, 118, and there's a catwalk down there where you can come straight down the steps to the catwalk and then right to the B stage. And that's basically where he did one of his performances from. And it was a lot of chaos dealing with those people that was over at the back part. But um everybody on their phones, all this other stuff. I'm just like, nobody wants to be in a moment anymore. And it's sad that phones are taking away that feeling of, I mean, I know you want to capture the moments. You want to show that you were at a situation. You want to be able to post it online and show like, oh yeah, I was there when this happened. That's great. But I always say like, when people record things from their music, I mean, like at an event or whatever you're at, do y'all actually watch that footage back? Because I remember like a lot of times when I record stuff, I realize I don't watch it back. But I think what I'm gonna start doing is that when I do go to concerts and I record, I'll probably just upload the videos to my YouTube and then delete it. Because at least I have some place to put it where there's, I can look back and be like, oh yeah, I was there and I had this performance and blah blah blah, whatever. Child, I heard. Don't remind me. Is Beyonce part of the pop girl Mount Rushmore? Probably think so. I will put her on there. Oh yeah. Well, ain't she out here selling coochie for currency? Allegedly, what kind of song was that? No shade. Madonna should have left Sabrina ass off. Uh-uh. No, we like them on there. First of all, their voices complement each other. Don't forget the track from Lemonade, Don't Hurt Yourself. Yeah, I was like talking about that. I mentioned Jack White that from Lemonade and the fact that they work together. Get ready for but we know she's gonna be doing that. Screaming more than screaming for Hudson. I hate when Beyonce sing loud, but the difference is it'll be warranted for this new album. Beyonce is far more talented than not Taylor shits, but too bad she doesn't write her own music. Demi has a new collab with Cobra on the Deluxe. Oh yeah, I know. I did say I don't know if you saw, but I was like, yeah, when that song was on repeat when I first heard it, I'm like, wait a minute now, what is this shit? And I was even imagining the choreography when I was listening to it. And she performed it at the Garden when that because the day she performed the Garden was the day the album came out, the deluxe edition. They have a song together. Also, I just heard Madian, the producer. Remember when he started out DJing? He was like 14. Now he's like this big international DJ. Madian has a new single out with Slater. I'm like, damn, everybody's dropping music. But yeah, I do like that song. I would like to see them do a video together because this is a good song they have together. I love Cobra. I even liked her Coachella set. Kim Petras thinks she's safe to go. Yeah, I did say she was releasing the album and saying that, girl, you're gonna get swallowed up. Swallowed. Okay, girl, I don't know any other album coming out July 3rd. And I think labels are avoiding that date. Even Ariana is like, let's wait till August. Speaking of which, I heard Ariana is dropping a new single today. I think it's called Bunnies. Such a stupid name, but I hope the song is good. Let Madonna have her moment. She earned it. Well, Kim Petras is no match for Madonna. No shade. I like Kim Petras, but she ain't no match for her. Beyonce needs to release in the fall. I don't think she needs to release this summer, but the more the merrier. Yeah, because I'm feeling greedy right now with the pop girls. They've been feeding us. Kim probably thinks she'll have a younger homosexuals on her side, and she definitely will. I'm more excited for Confessions 2 than a mostly leaked album. I mean, it was mostly leaked. And here's the funny part. See, speaking of you talking about that, you excited, but not really. One of my coworkers yesterday, because I have a trans girl that works at my job, and we was having a conversation because she was laughing. I'm like, on the floor, because we was on the floor and we were having a conversation. She's laughing. I'm like, what? What's so funny? She said, because the Pussycat Dolls is coming to the, and she was like, I'm the demographic for that group because she was like a kid when she was like a big PCD fan. And she said the first concert she ever went to was Christina Aguilera, but the opening act was Danity Kane and PCD. And she was like, if you came back with 5 of the 6, I think that more people want to go see them. But only 3 of the girls, I said, because they think Nicole is the lead singer. Like Nicole is the face of the group. So you could just switch any of them girls out and nobody won't be that upset. But the way everybody online is talking about not Kimberly Wyatt, Carmi not being a part of the group and Melody not being in the group, they're like, this ain't real PCD. But quiet as it's kept, word on the street, when we was having a conversation, Robert and I, they said that them tickets, they dropped them numbers of $30. And she was like, yeah, I'm not surprised. And she's like, yeah, I'm the demographic and I don't even care to see them. But it don't matter because if I work the show, I'm not going to be that upset because I'll be getting paid to have to watch a Pussycat Doll show rather than putting money into a Pussycat Doll show. So, um, that's the tea leaves, and they read them, and the person of that generation said they don't care for a PCD tour, and they're the demographic for it. Beyonce had Jack White on Lemonade. She needs to go full rock. Well, I think she will, but of course, I don't think it'll be full rock, but it'll have those Beyonce elements in there. I prefer Beyonce. Oh yeah, I read that. I prefer Beyonce to do a solo album. I'm tired of all the collaborations. I want to see if Homegirl can carry on her own. Yeah, I think that was the complaint. Well, we know Madonna can do it on her own, but I think the overall complaint is people was like, okay, we don't need no more duets. We need some solo stuff. But I think it was like she did that to hit out at radio with the collaboration with Sabrina. I hope there's not a lot of collabs on this album, except production collabs. That's it. We don't want other you having a, oh you I'm working with her, I'm working with Addison Rae, I'm working with this pop girlie, I got a Kim Petras duet, I got a Cobra duet, I got a Slater duet. I was like, girl, then call the album duets. I got a Robin duet. Speaking of Robin, Melanie C said that she was inspired by Robin, so she even went to Claus Allen and had him come in and help produce some tracks for the album. Because at this point, even though Mel C is older than Robin is mother because of the type of sound that she brought, that emotional vibe to electronic music. Miguel devoured "I Would Die for You" at the Prince tribute. Well, Miguel can sing, and that's because Miguel's talented. So, and Miguel's about that vibe. I mean, about that vibe, about that life. So it's more believable that a Miguel would do something like that than a Tyrese coming in and singing a Prince song. Thank you, Peso, for going overtime and giving. But you know, with these with these groups or whatever, they always tend to go over. So I don't mind. Child Taylor writes songs distinctly juvenile, but I mean, there's that. She writes that's it distinctively to her. She's a 35-year-old woman who, on her mind, is still 12 and has a trapper keeper and a little pin with the fuzzy feather on the top, or a treasure troll. Remember those? Midnight Sun Girls Trip was a karate, not a karate chop. Someone on Twitter said that Ariana was reheating not Ethel Cain's nachos with the pedal album aesthetics. Not you ripping off the trans girls. The pedals artwork got compared to. Yeah, I was thinking Mariah Carey too. Because what was the album that she did where it was black and white? It wasn't Rainbow. It wasn't Charm Bracelet, right? What's the album that she was in black and white? Hmm. Yeah, she said she got to see the Back to Basics tour. The PCD $30 sale backfired because all the nosebleed and it's all the nosebleed. Chill. And well, look, the one thing about concerts is that, especially at the Garden, there's no bad seat in the house unless you got obstructed view. The worst failed tour was okay. Don't mind. I don't know. I could never get into Megan Trainor. Her music is a little too commercial jingle, if that makes sense. You know, like they write jingles for commercials. That's what her music gives. It gives. Remember that episode of The Jeffersons? Take your dirty clothes to Cunningham. He's your man, Cunningham. Take your dirty clothes to Cunningham, and they'll come back cunning clean. Remember that? That's what her music gives. Yeah, I took it way back to The Jeffersons, and you said so. The tour has to happen, which is true. Ooh. Mhm. Oh, he's about Robin Anson. Okay, a remix duet album, aka what Pink Panthers did. Yeah, and that I ain't really care for that one. I said the couple of songs in there. Everyone releasing shit, but Lana Del Rey has yet to release Stove. Is the name of her album Stove? Oh yeah, it was Here for It All. Number one. Oh yeah, it was all them damn records. Oh yeah, I think what it was E equals MC2. That was the one, the first one, I believe that. I don't know. I didn't feel. Oh, I didn't feel the. I didn't feel that single from Lana Del Rey though. Look. This is what happens when y'all be happy in these relationships. Y'all wind up coming out with crappy music. That's why I'm hoping that with Megan Thee Stallion getting cheated on, that she'll have the good damn sense to write a good song for once. It's the lawn seats at the outdoor venue, so add the summer heat and stuff. Yeah, child. Nobody gonna be wanting to sit out in no damn heat. They'd rather come to like the garden and be in air conditioned. Megan gives bootleg Broadway music. Way off Broadway. White Feather Hawk, Tail Deal Hunter is the best singer released this year. Did not like that James Bond song. Megan Trainor is dubbed soccer mom music and Target shopping music, basically music to go get those blue light specials. Yeah, that girls' trip was a damn slumber party. I like Zara, but let's let Charlie and Pink Panthers have that. Lana needs to get back on the book, not the book of sugar. Wait, was she? I said, was she ever into the book of sugar? I totally forgot. Huh. But well, we're gonna talk about somebody else that allegedly on that book of sugar. Ronnie from Jersey Shore. When we get to that topic, you know who else releases mom music? Lizzo. Do yourself a favor and never listen to her new single unless you want to laugh at the sample she used. I didn't even know she dropped a new song, but I know she got a new album called Bitch coming out. I'm kind of curious to hear it because I did like that mixtape, whatever it was that she came out with, but I don't know if I like the album cover. I don't particularly care for the album cover, and yeah. But now you got me intrigued on what that sample is that she used. I might have to listen to it now. But anyway, y'all, let's get back. I love the conversation, but let's get back into the show and then we'll carry on. Damn, I had 61 comments up in here, but not well. You already played the Madonna song, so you might as well share it with the class. I get it, especially with Zara. Her moment hasn't been that substantial. She needs stuff to extend the run. Um, not gonna lie, but I kind of agree with you on this. It's like Zara's having her little renaissance, and she's getting heavily promoted, and she's putting out this different music. But I do agree that the songs haven't really been that substantial because Zara has not been on my radar. Even like back in the day, I would listen to her music a lot. This new era, Midnight Sun, I have to say I've only listened to the album twice, so I haven't really been feeling this era. So I'm with you on that. She sampled the iconic. Oh, because the name of the album is Bitch, so she used Bitch as a sample. Yeah. Lord, don't get me started on PJ Harvey. I used to listen to her a lot back in the day. Her and oh my God. Why can't I remember the name of the band? The song that goes, Way, they don't love you like I love you. May, they don't love you like I love you. Who sing that song? I mean, I don't know why it's not coming to me. You said Zara just hopping on trends and licking on Beyonce. But yeah. Thank you. I was like, I don't know why I couldn't think of the name of that song. Or them, the band. I need her to go back to the studio and be focused. Nah, I'm licking on Beyonce cat. I heard Tori Amos drop new music. I haven't listened to her yet. But yeah, I used to listen to Tori Amos a lot when I was growing up in the 90s. Yeah, I was going through this whole torch song girl women's phase. I would listen to a lot of Courtney Love and Hole. I would listen to a lot of Fiona Apple. I was in that whole era. The whole Lilith Fair era. I went through that whole phase. That's when the girlies was popping. I wasn't really into Meredith Brooks like that. I mean, bitch was like her only big hit. I'm a bitch, I'm a lover, I'm a child, I'm a mother, I'm a sinner and a saint. I do not feel ashamed. I was like, okay, sis. But where's the follow up? But I did live for that song though. Anyway, let's get back into the show. And let's talk about another blast from the past. Let's talk about Meh, who is finally been given, well, they said she's been charged with a DUI and she's been offered probation in regards of what's been going on with her. So that's good news. I mean, I kind of felt like that's kind of where they would go anyway. But it's like this weird thing I'd never heard of that they were talking about what it exactly is they were going to give us. So let's get into the article. So Britney Spears is facing a criminal charge after being pull over, that ass is too fat, whoop, whoop, and arrested for allegedly driving under the influence in March. On Thursday, April 30th, prosecutors in Ventura County, California, charged Spears with one misdemeanor count of driving under the influence. Her arraignment is scheduled for Monday, May 4th. Damn, May 4th is a busy day. First of all, we got the Met Gala. Now we got this happening. Met Gala on the East Coast, her criminal charge on the West Coast. Now, that's all at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So it'll be 12 p.m. Eastern time. Spears is not required to attend in person, and her attorney will be able to appear on her behalf. Now, a press statement from the Ventura County District Attorney's Office noted that it plans to offer Spears a type of plea deal known as a wet reckless, which was something I ain't never heard of. But apparently, they said this is offered to people without past DUIs, low blood alcohol level, and where there was no crash or injury. I'm like, I've never heard of this sort of situation. So there was no crash or no injury. This is her first ever DUI charge. And they said low blood alcohol level, but I don't understand how she's being charged with a DUI when they said that she took a breathalyzer and she didn't go over the limit. So, but they did say they found Adderall in the car, which we've had this conversation that a lot of times when Britney goes to her second home, that's Mexico. I think that's where she goes to get her fix on the cheap. Because she said that one of her favorite drugs of choice is Adderall. Now, they said the DA's office noted that this type of resolution is common, particularly with a defendant demonstrates self-motivation to address underlying issues through rehab or treatment. Spears voluntarily checked into a rehab facility earlier this month. I think she went for 3 weeks and now she's out. So a lot of people were saying, well, I guess people on her camp said they would have loved that she would have stayed longer, but I guess she felt like she got what she needed from it, or was this all, in my opinion, let me play devil's advocate, let me be a cynic. Maybe this was all a ruse, so that way, oh, you know what? Because I may go to jail, which, according to her team, they believe that they said her inner circle, and this according to Rob Shooter. He said her team believes that she wouldn't survive prison if she was sent to prison. And my thing was like, why would they send Britney to prison? First of all, if y'all didn't send Justin Timberlake ass to prison, and he was way beyond the legal limit of alcohol and was a mess. And we seen that footage that allegedly they said his wife didn't want to get out. So if you ain't gonna send his little lily white ass to prison, why you gonna send her to jail over a DUI? That don't make no damn sense. If she gonna go into prison, then lock his ass up too. So what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But y'all always so quick. And I don't want to sound like these damn delusional ass Britney stands. But it's like y'all, I don't want to fall into that hole of the press or the people picking on Britney or whatever. And maybe there is some sexism that's thrown in this whole situation. But according to what went with her, I don't think it was as bad. Now, yeah, her driving erratically on the street and swerving and doing all that craziness, you should not be behind no wheel. And if you are in a position where you have a lot of money, what you need to be doing is get you a driver, sit on the passenger side of your best friend's ride, and live like that. Shit, I would love to have to walk around with somebody just driving me. Okay, I need to go here, there, and everywhere. I need to get the car, get to driving, and I can go about my merry way. I ain't got to drive none of my cars. I have somebody driving for me. Yeah, I have my cute little vehicles, but I have somebody drive me around. Yes, I am Miss Daisy. Drive my ass around. So, I hope she doesn't. I'm glad she doesn't see jail. But like I said before, I do believe that maybe she was doing all of this because let me go to rehab, make it look good in the eyes of the judge so they can go easy on me and I won't be able to do jail time or whatever the case is, or the community service or whatever comes with that. But I should point out that a rep for Britney's did not immediately return a request for comment. And y'all already know the tea about how she got pulled over in March after receiving reports of a BMW driving erratically at a high rate of speed, because anybody could have been hurt in that situation. And I'm glad nobody was. So clearly somebody upstairs was looking out for her. And I do think this is a warning for her to get her shit together. And I'm hoping that everything that she did do up to this point was to get herself together. But I also was hearing from Rob Shooter that with all this going on, that her sons, who have all of a sudden, and yes, I'm saying every word I'm saying is what I mean, all of a sudden wanting to come back into her life and be mommy's little boys or whatever, even though they're grown now, they're of age. They've decided to move into Britney's home. So on one hand, while Britney is loving this because she's like, I finally got my boys and I'm able to have time with them, and I hope that they genuinely mean what they're doing. The timing of all this got me side-eyeing them because I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why is it that once the child support got cut off because y'all been aged out, and Kevin Federline wrote the book that nobody read and nobody cared to read, so all that wasted wood to turn his book into something that nobody gives a fuck about. All of a sudden now with all of that, and now that the wells run dry, now all of a sudden you want to be in mommy's good graces. I really hope that they're coming to, wanting to be in Britney's life and wanting to spend a particular time with her, an extensive amount of time, and not using her because, well, now that the well has run dry, now we could use that we love mommy and she's gonna give us whatever it is and she'll shower us with gifts. Because remember, back in the day when Britney, the whole conservatorship, I think before the conservatorship and when that conservatorship unfolded, Jamie, her no good ass father, and Kevin conspired, and we'll throw Lynn up in there too. She was acting like basically the way that Katherine Jackson was portrayed in this Michael Jackson movie. Everything was going on. She was just sitting there idly by, letting the shit happen and not protecting her daughter. But because I guess that was the role a lot of these people played in them days. But Brittany needed protection for her family, and they was using her financially and using those kids as a weapon against her in order to get what they wanted. Well, if you want to see your boys again, you'll do X, Y, and Z. And this was a lot of stuff that was happening. Even she's mentioned this in her book. So I'm hoping that this is not another way where y'all are manipulating these boys to use their mother as another way to get whatever they can get out of her, because none of y'all motherfuckers want to get up off y'all ass and get a real goddamn job. Y'all want to sit up in here and use Britney because she been a cash cow. And it's disgusting how a lot of parents are with their kids. But y'all will sit and sell them out, whore them out, sell them up the river just so y'all can get just a smidge of money, success, fame, and glamour. It's just so sad that this is what y'all do with y'all kids. Y'all should be loving up on y'all kids instead of whoring them out to people like a Jeffrey Epstein or whatever the case is, or just so they can become famous because you couldn't hack it as a pop star or whatever the case was. So now you see the ability in your kid and you thinking, oh, they're going to get us out the ghetto. They're going to get us out of poverty. They're going to do this, that, and the third. And you pretty much out here whoring out your damn child when all they want to do is sit up out here and just be famous and want to do the thing that it just naturally comes to them. And you're supposed to be the protector and the provider to make sure that these little nasty ass perverts that lurking up in the industry don't take advantage of your child. So I hope that the boys are in for wanting to be up in Britney's situation because they genuinely care about her and they genuinely want to see the best for their mother. But the cynical New York side of me is like, oh, I'm gonna definitely keep my eyes on y'all asses. But in the meantime, what do y'all think of this story? I hope, Brittany, that everything goes well for you. We're all rooting for you around here. Yes, I'm channeling Tyra, and I'll just be keeping abreast of the story as it develops. But I want to hear from y'all. Whatever your thoughts on this matter, let me know in the comments down below. Oh, I keep forgetting now. I gotta open this other thing. You said, oh wait, I don't know if I read this one. Tori Amos was great too. I was listening to Whole earlier today, mostly because the girl in this book I'm reading is giving is giving Courtney Love tease. Paula Cole was underrated during the lesbian. Oh, you know where all the broken hearts gone? Isn't that the name of the song? I remember Paula Cole. And then don't get me started on that damn theme song, the fucking Dawson's Creek. Get a driver, why drive at all, let alone with anything in your system when you're Britney Spears? I said about every celebrity. I just don't understand why y'all get behind the wheel, because who you think is going to get behind there to protect you? Jesus? So if y'all ever get fun, and that's just for anybody, and I was hearing this too, which I heard that, I don't know who I heard it from. Oh, I know where I was. I was watching Madonna Louise Veronica Ciccone podcast, and one of the guys on there was having a conversation about how he got to go to the Madonna thing at the Abbey. And he was saying something another, like, yeah, there's like this ongoing trend that, yeah, people get drunk in LA and they get behind the wheel and they start driving. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with people? Nobody believes in getting an Uber or any of that stuff. People just get behind the wheel and just start driving and hoping that the universe is going to get them on the, home from point A to point B and in one piece. Like, I don't get it. Like, to me, if I'm going to get fucked up, if I'm going to go out and carry, trust and believe, Chris is going to call an Uber. He's going to call a Lyft. And they're going to get my ass home. I don't have to get behind the wheel because I know how I would be. I would be incapacitated. But people just don't think straight when it comes to that. Or, luckily enough, I had friends who there was always a responsible driver when we would go out. So, because I know I'm not going to drink, or they'll probably have a couple of beers. And then when they know that they need to sober up, they would sober up. I don't understand why some celebs refuse someone to drive them. You got the money to exactly. That's what I said. If you got the coins, spend that money. But rich people, they don't want to spend no money. They want to hoard it all. I couldn't buy a Paula Cole CD because she was naked on this Fire album cover. Ooh. Yeah, where have all the cowboys gone? It was something. Wasn't it a few years before one of the boys tried to paint her as abusive so much that so they recorded her scolding them just to make her look bad? Oh, Paula Cole. Oh, wait, you talking about Britney? Yeah, that's another thing too. And I meant to bring that up. That what if this is a thing where the boys move into the house, right? Because they are close to Jamie Lynn and the father and the mother and all that. So they're close to the other side, and Kevin. What if they got them moving in the house to spy on Britney? So when she have another one of her little crash outs where she doing whatever it is she putting up in her system, and she out there twirling them goddamn Gerber baby panties in that tube top in the living room with the running mascara and the nappy weave. Oh, I call her doing something and something or another, and she getting her box back, banged out in the other room. We hear her moaning and all this other craziness. They get up there and they spilling tea to them, feeding them stuff as fuel to get her wrapped into another conservatorship. So that's another thing too, because as even though us Virgos, we tell it like it is, there's some of y'all out there that's real sneaky too, real snakes in the grass, running to everybody goddamn business except your own. Me, I keep it real. I don't give a fuck. Like, if you tell me a secret and you tell me to keep it, I'll keep it. But if you piss me off, gloves is off. Don't piss me off, because that side will come out. But there's some of y'all out here, I'm like, I can't believe we all share a sign because you a snake. So that's what her kids be giving. So that's why I said I'm still a little cynical about this whole situation. So, but Britney wants to believe in the best in people, and I guess in her mind, she want to have that fantasy of her kids loving up on her and them coming back into her life, and that's great. But if they're using her, there's a special place in hell for y'all and the rest of your damn family members. All right, y'all. So now let's get back into the show. And let's talk about Jersey Shore, which I'm like, this is a topic I did not think I'd be canon. That something juicy and then will be coming out of Jersey Shore that we need to talk. But apparently, they've been doing the rounds for the final season of Jersey Shore Family Vacation. Yeah, this is the end for them. So good luck to the rest of them that's on this list that I don't know if they'll have a career beyond this. I'm sure that Mike, the situation will be okay. Snooki's found a way to parlay herself outside of this. DJ Paulie D will always have a career because he was a DJ before he came on Jersey Shore, and he's been able to use the whole Jersey Shore thing to keep himself popular within the club music space. So he's all doing his thing. I think he lives in Vegas. Vinny doing whatever he's doing, I guess, being his side hustle as a Trump supporter. But he's been out here doing stuff, and Ronnie been out here allegedly getting hired in Cooter Brown because when I watched this footage of him, child, there was somebody he was nodding off during the interview. Now I do have the clip, but this clip is of him. You kind of see that you could tell he high, but some of the pictures where they was like, he like this, holding the microphone. I'm like, that's giving me like you on that. Like he got a side job as a Methodist. Put them 4 letters in caps. If you don't know what I'm saying, I think you do. But anyway, so yeah. But after all of this, Mike has responded. I'm gonna get to his response after this, but I want to see all this clip courtesy of I think it was Sirius XM. And yeah, hold on. So I'll pull this up. We're gonna watch this clip, and then we are going to come back and talk. But pay attention to him in this clip. Please hold.
Who have been some of the most surprising celebrity fans of Jersey Shore? Like, I'm sure you guys
Leonardo DiCaprio was a big fan of ours.
Beyonce.
Lindsay Lohan.
Beyonce?
Yes.
How did you find that out? Did she come up to you and
Cardi
tell
B.
you?
We were at a carpet and she literally
Wayne.
stopped us and kissed us all on the
Lil
cheek.
Wayne.
And she was like posing.
Yes.
And she was like, oh wait.
The Rock.
And she stopped us.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
The Rock was
God.
so
You were
nice.
kissed by Beyonce?
Yeah,
All of
her
y'all?
whole entourage. It was actually
Yes.
really
She was
crazy.
amazing.
and stunning and like stunning.
She's perfect.
Wait, that's
And how did we
crazy.
find out about Leo?
Oh, he was so
He was in the
cool.
club with us. He sat next to us all night.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's a fun boy to go out with.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fine. He
Yeah.
just had his baseball cap on and like literally, sorry.
Yeah, he was.
Baseball cap was on and he was just chilling in there.
Yeah, he was
Wow.
in VIP in LA, and then I believe he asked Rex to
Simon Rex.
Simon Rex. Yeah,
Is it rendering?
Rex. Yeah, and that they wanted to take a photo with us. And as soon as we walked over there, it was all models, and it was Leo in a baseball cap. And the first words out of his mouth was GTL all day. And we were like, what?
Wow.
GTL all day?
Jennifer
Okay,
Aniston,
let's
too.
go.
Jennifer
Yeah,
Aniston?
we met her too. Seth Green, we met, and Jennifer
Yeah.
Aniston. She got up out of her chair. She hugged all of us. She's like,
Wow.
yeah, there's a
Do
lot
we-
of them.
I also heard people was coming for Angelina to my Angelina.
Oh,
doesn't
yeah?
look like
It was
Angelina.
actually
Really
really
crazy.
crazy.
And stunning and
Hold
like
on, let me
stunning.
close this. They were saying like Angelina don't even look like Angelina anymore. I said, yeah, well, all that damn filler she got in her face. Of course that ain't her. But In addition to that, because let me actually, because I don't know if y'all could tell with the whole situation, but I got a screenshot. So yeah, that was a picture of what he actually looked like during the thing. He was nodding off through the whole situation, and everybody was in the comments talking about that whole situation. So Mike the Situation also went on his IG and posted the following. Hold on as I bring that up. That ain't it. Okay. So yeah, he said this. Well, he said, the intervention era begins when nothing else works, we step in. For those out of options but not out of hope, you're not alone anymore. A new beginning is possible even now. So I guess he has like Archangel Centers. I think that's like a center where he's going to help people who I'm assuming has issues with drugs, because if you know from Mike's situations past, he was someone who battled drug use and he's been sober for a long time. And so a lot of people was in the comments. We're gonna read some of the comments over there in a second, but they would say, "Are you helping your boy out?" Because they were watching that video and they were like, "Damn, Ronnie, what is going on with you?" And remember back in the day, Ronnie was fine. I'll tell you, like out of all the Jersey Shore boys, and trust and believe, I grew up around those Guido types, and from like the whole Long Island, Staten Island scene. So Vinny was, even though I don't agree with Vinny's policy, Vinny can get it and Ronnie could get it. Paulie maybe if he got rid of that stupid ass Bar Simpson haircut. But the rest of them was like Ronnie, because Ronnie got a little Hispanics up in him. Ortiz is his last name. But he said this. So Mike said in the comments, I want to be clear that I'm not responsible for the actions of any other cast member. At the same time, my heart is heavy seeing what Ron, a grown adult, chose to present during press. This situation is still developing, and while I do not know the full extent of what he may be going through, I do know it is separate from my path. I will help where I can, including through my organization, the Archangel Centers. I reached out to check in and offer my support, and I'm still waiting to hear back. If he is willing, I will be there for him. My heart is with anyone who is struggling. I've worked hard to protect my sobriety for nearly 11 years, and I honor that every day while continuing to show up with compassion for others. As more becomes clear, I hope we all respond with empathy. Please be kind to someone who may be suffering. And then some people were like, I wouldn't want to enter a facility where people are walking around in bulletproof vests. Having your counselor look like a cop is not the right vibe. I feel like someone who spent time in prison should have their what? Somebody, okay, if you've never gone through any kind of rehabilitation center situation, you can't tell based on, somebody dressed a certain way would be better off versus whatever it, because is there any pictures in here? Hold on. With people and they got Archangel bulletproof vests, whatever. Well, maybe this whole thing is because of the whole aesthetic of maybe there's a whole aesthetic thing that's going on with this. I don't know. But I don't know how somebody wearing a bulletproof vest would determine whether or not somebody gets better. That is that it's crazy that people think you're responsible for other people's actions. Anyone who watches the show knows how much everyone in the cast has tried to help Ron. Crazy expectations from people. And then another person says, Mike, have you reached out on Ronnie for help? He looked bad on that last interview. Use your resources and help, brother. Food for thought. Well, clearly you didn't read what Mike wrote up top, because if you did, then you would know that he stated that I have tried to reach out to him and I'm willing to help any way I can. But the reality is, when it comes to addicts, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. So if Ronnie is not in a place where he feels comfortable enough that he's ready to hit that rock bottom where he needs help, you can't do so much to help him. He's got to reach that rock bottom in order to want to come out and get the help. You can't force someone to do something they don't want to do, especially if they're an addict. Because what they're going to do is they're going to fight against you. They're going to be combative. And then they're going to probably, I'll go through the motions of it. And then when they get out, they're going to have to get that fix again. So Ronnie has to get to a place where he's ready to get clean. But I should say, like, I believe Ronnie has admitted in the past, because I remember there was an interview and he said that he was doing like booger sugar and things of that nature. I don't know if he's ever smoked the crack, but he has had battles with addictions in the past. And I know he's gone through a lot of stuff in his personal life, that he's had a lot of stressful things going on, especially with his baby's mother and custody and all that other stuff. I remember there were some things that happened with him in the past. But like I said, if you're not willing to get that help, You could do whatever you want or mention whatever you want until the cows come home. But if Ronnie's not willing to get that help, then what can you do? So, but they said that, well, because I got the story from page 6, they did reach out to Ronnie. He hasn't responded back. And then they said in last month's interview, Ortiz-Magro seemingly struggled to keep his eyes open and started to slouch as Dina Nicole Cortez spoke. While MTV is our home, we are so grateful for them or to them. It's now time to move on. We're just kind of finding a place to park at this point. This is what the 39-year-old said. Ortiz-Magro continued to sway on his stool as Sorrentino added, I think we're all very grateful, like Dina said. Maybe we'll follow in the Kardashian footsteps as they went from cable to streaming. Well, that could be it. I mean, we'll see if Hulu want to pick y'all up over there at Jersey. Look, this is one of the shows that have managed to keep it going. People still like the show. Child, I haven't watched Jersey Shore since they canceled the original show, before they started going on their family vacations. I just never could get around to watching the family vacation stuff, but people still keeping up with them. Like some people still keeping up with the Kardashians. I mean, child, quiet as it's kept. I ain't never kept up with them hoes because they always in my damn timeline with some bullshit. So why do I need to watch their show when I'm always hearing stuff within the gossip space? So, but then they had Angelina, Sammy, Nicole, Snooki, and Vinny were also there. And the cast members have yet to comment on the footage. But it was cool enough that um, Mike actually was the one to speak out. And I guess because of the position that he holds. And I know some people probably look at this as my cynical side or me playing devil's advocate. Some people look at this, oh, now you trying to, and I'm sure there'll be shady ass people in the comments to say this. Oh, you just want to use your little archangel situation as a way at Ronnie's expense. And it's like, if I have a facility and the tools that's going to help get people better, what better way to do it than me? But like it was stated before, Ronnie has to be able to come to the point that he wants to get better. And until then, unfortunately, you just got to sit idly by and let these people go through what they're going through. But in the meantime, I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story regarding Ronnie Ortiz-Magro, who's currently going through some things and was being very unprofessional by showing up to do press for Jersey Shore Family Vacation? Excuse me, hide and cool to brown. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. It's definitely giving that Miss Thing out here, because wasn't she wearing a long sleeve? It's like, Miss Thing out here doing that old hair on. So you better leave them needles alone. So I would not be surprised if that's what you're out here doing. But anyway, so y'all, we down to our final 4 topics. So before we get to the final 4 topics of the day, if you could please do me a solid and hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and also be sure to smash the notification bell so that you know when we go live, excuse me, with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. We also have super chats. We have super stickers. We have all the things that y'all can do. You hype the channel, share it with your friends, share it with your group, share it with your drug dealer. No, I'm kidding. Share it with whoever to help push this show out there for the people. Not me having the heroin situation up in here while I'm talking drug dealers. But share with the group, share with whoever. But yeah, let's help get this algorithm out there. I'm almost at 4K, so I'm excited for that. So the show is moving merrily along. It's good to know that people are still out here supporting this mess of a show and supporting me running my mouth for God knows how long I'm gonna run it, because we're already 2.5 hours in and we got 4 topics left. So without further ado, let's go from one mess to another. Let's talk about Kim Zolciak, who can't seem to get her shit together. Now, apparently, word on the street is she lost primary custody of them babies again because she can't get herself together in this whole situation. So it's almost looking like you proving Kroy right, that you a deadbeat mom, which I'm kind of not surprised by this news. But Kroy, you ain't no damn angel either. But Kim ain't never, Kim ain't never been right about her. So A judge basically ruled on Kroy's emergency motion and gave him primary custody of them babies. Now, Kim Zolciak has once again lost custody of her kids, this time following ex-Kroy Biermann's allegations she had neglected their 4 minor children. A judge temporarily stripped the Real Housewives of Atlanta alum of primary custody after Biermann filed an emergency motion on the matter last week. The outlet reported that Zolciak, who's 47, a little older than that says, will now have limited parenting time with her minor children every other weekend. Although the exes will continue to share joint legal custody of the kids, Biermann will reportedly be the final decision maker in relation to educational, non-emergency medical, and religious matters. Now, Zolciak, however, clarified that the judge's decision to strip her of primary custody is only until she and her retired NFL star ex return to court for a full hearing later this month. Then saying the judge's decision is temporary until I return court date on May 21st, when we will have the opportunity for a full hearing. This is what she told TMZ in a statement on Friday. That'd be today. While I want this process to be over for my children more than anything, I am looking forward to our court date on May 21st, when we will finally be provided with an opportunity to present the truth. Well, you should have said where I will be finally presented with the opportunity to tell the truth. We talking about some we. Because first of all, if he's doing this shit against you, why would you want to include him in the situation? At this point, y'all hate each other guts. And y'all can't even come to a mutual decision as grown adults, which is why you got to get the courts involved. So now, Biermann, who's 40, followed an emergency motion requesting permanent physical and legal custody of his and the former Roa star's 4 minor kids on April 22nd, per TMZ. The exes, who have been in the process of divorcing since May 2023, share son Kroy Jr., who's 14, son Cash, who's 13, and 12-year-old, because this lady was popping out kids every year like she was Rihanna. And then her 12-year-old kids, Kaya and Cain. Remember when they was going through her and Candy Burris because she wanted to name one of her kids with a K, and she felt like Kim was going to steal the name. I think it was Cash. She was going to name the child, which she did end up naming the kid Cash. And then also, Biermann adopted her other 2 daughters, who we don't even know who their father is. And then we just heard not too long ago, I don't think we talked about on the show, Big Papa died. I was like, we finally got to see what the man looked like. Big Papa was good looking, but he was also 20 years older than Kim, which y'all should not be surprised. She out here looking for somebody with some coins to take care of her. She always been that lady, even back when she wore them old $2 synthetic wigs from Goodwill. Now, besides accusing the Bravo celebrity of neglect, Biermann reportedly claimed that Zolciak's acts were in ways that are harmful to the children and contrary to their best interests in his emergency motion, saying Zolciak is more selfishly concerned with her own image and her work options than with the opinions of experts and/or the best interests of the children. This constitutes neglect of the minor children and is harmful to the progress and healing of the family unit. Well, while y'all do have 4 kids together, and I understand that a lot of them need your attention, or whatever the case is, in so many ways, on the business side, I'm looking at Kim as like she's got to work at the end of the day. Now gambling issues or whatever the allegations regarding that aside, Kim definitely needs to work. Because, Kroy, what you doing besides sitting on that big old ass at home? We ain't heard you doing nothing post you retiring from the NFL. So Kim got to get out there with them new age wigs and that new body. Because every time I turn around, Miss Mama's got a new face, a new body, new titties, new everything. And she has to make it work. She's got to be able to provide for herself and them babies. And if you ain't out here working, somebody got to do it. So I understand on that point. Now, if you want to call that neglect, you have to prove all that in court. And Kim got to prove on her side that, you know what he's calling neglect, I'm out here actually doing multiple reality shows and having to travel outside the country for a month or 2 to film because that's my source of income. I'm a reality star. I'm a personality. So I got to be out here doing what I got to do. I got to be out here working and doing these other things in order to get, provide for the family. I can't afford to work at no damn Family Dollar. And you know what? If they was actually paying people a reasonable living wage, people wouldn't have to resort to the only way you could do, and I'm just saying in general, the only way that you can provide for the family is I got to do reality shows. I got to do all these appearances. I got to travel, or I got to do OF or whatever the case is, because regular jobs ain't paying. So I think people need to stop going in on people who have to do whatever they got to do by any means necessary in order to pay the bills. Work ain't honest, but it pays the bills, according to a wise woman by the name of Erica Wright, aka Badu. So now his estranged wife's lawyer, meanwhile, slammed the retired football star's neglect allegations as unwarranted, saying Biermann's decision to file this motion lacks factual support and is unwarranted. This is what her attorney told TMZ last week. We will address these claims in the proper legal forum and will vigorously defend the truth in court rather than through public discourse. Well, here's the thing. I will definitely be keeping myself abreast of this story as it develops, because y'all are messy. The only downside to all of this, y'all not capturing all of this on reality TV. So that's like the only thing that I'm finding remotely annoying about this whole thing. But other than that, if there were cameras rolling for this child, I'd have been here for every last bit of it. And this been the only time y'all would have caught my ass watching a season of Don't Be Tardy if all of this was brought up in there. But in the meantime, I'll definitely keep you guys abreast of the story as it develops once we get around to that court date situation in a couple of weeks. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Do you agree with what's going on with Kim and Kroy? Quiet as it's kept, Kroy, you ain't no angel in this mess either, because when you allow that lady to sit up there and turn you against your own family members, because you had a good family situation going, and then they was feeling the ways about Kim, and you was protecting your wife because you was pussmatized. So if women can be dickmatized, men can be pussmatized. And if that's not a word, I made it up today. So if this man was going to be pussmatized because he got this older woman throwing that thing on him, and he don't know how to know what to do with himself, and then now that the rose-colored glasses has come off and the honeymoon phase is over, now you want to sit up here and make him out to be this evil whatever, but you was liking it when she with all this other stuff was going on. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Are reality shows that distasteful? I guess they are, depending on the show. All right, y'all. So now let's go and take ourselves back, and talk about a blast on the past. And let's talk about the Broken Hearts Club. Child, I feel old because I could not believe this movie came out 25 years ago. But apparently they did like a reunion with Greg Berlanti, who directed Broken Hearts Club, and then producer Mickey Liddell. And the only two actors that showed up for the film, because I would have loved to have seen Andrew Keegan there. You wouldn't have seen Dean Cain, because Dean Cain, all of a sudden, he a whole MAGA supporter and all that other foolishness. So it was Billy Porter and Zach Braff. Zach Braff has a big career, and Billy Porter, is Billy Porter. She out here not giving a fuck anymore. So yeah, let's get into the article, because there was other, and Billy had some choice words for Dean Cain as well. So WeHo celebrated the 25th anniversary of the classic homosexual rom-com, The Broken Hearts Club, with a screening at West Hollywood Park. Stars Billy Porter and Zach Braff, alongside writer/director Greg Berlanti and producer Mickey Liddell, sat down with a panel just ahead of the screening of the beloved 2000 movie. Now, the story follows a group of homosexual men in LA with interwoven romantic prospects and anxieties over turning 30. It's funny enough, that was always a big theme back then. Queer as folk even did that too, because I always felt like, well, once you turn 30, might as well roll over and die. I think we still have that vibe going on today. But I don't know if as much. You new generation homosexuals, let me know in the comments if that still is a thing. But I remember that was a big thing in like the 2000s. So yeah, Porter played the oh so dramatic Taylor, who's struggling with a rough breakup, while Braff plays Benji, the naive youngest member of the group with a love for gym bros. Oh yeah, and I remember the scene where he got drugged And now, additionally, Timothy Oliphant plays Dennis, a photographer desperately looking for love, and Dean Cain plays Cole, the known boyfriend stealer whose looks let him glide through the WeHo dating scene. Matt McGrath plays Howie, a chronic overthinker riddled with anxiety, and Ben Weber plays Patrick, a cynic, the group of friends from the Broken Hearts Club, a local baseball team, and best friends. Now, Porter and Braff had the chance to reflect on the film's beginnings, legacy, and of course, spill some tea at the screening on Saturday. Now, when recalling his favorite moments on set, Porter claimed or recalled the breakup scene for his character Taylor, where he screams for a song to comfort him but the selection of CDs fails him. He said, "No Streisand, no Bet, no Judy. What the fuck's a fairy supposed to do around here in case of emergency?" And then Howie offered up a Celine Dion CD, to which Taylor responds, "In hell." Now, there actually was some history on why Billy Porter said that line and delivered it the way it was, because apparently what we didn't know is that at the time, or maybe I did know this, Billy Porter, hard to believe, right, was straight and trying to get in the music scene, the mainstream music scene. And so he had did like R&B, whatever the case was, and he was working on his music, so they were trying to butch him up. And he also said that he meant that line in a moment because he said that he had just had one of his songs stolen by Celine Dion. So when he read the script, I was like, I'm going to get this. I'm going to feel this moment. That was real. So when he said that, he had some disdain towards Celine because, well, I don't know, could we blame Celine or could we blame her team or whatever the case was? That was like, oh, that was one of your songs. It was presented to her. And then you just decided, oh, I'm going to blame her. I mean, who knows? Maybe she was involved. Now, at another moment in the film, Taylor had a confrontational scene with Cole, played by co-star Dean Cain, who today is an outspoken conservative and an idiot who couldn't hack it being a part of ICE because he was too damn big. Same thing like when you got Trump out here saying, "Oh, I don't want to wear a bulletproof vest because it makes me look fat." I'm like, motherfucker, do you not own a mirror? You already fat. You ain't seen your dick since Milana gave birth to Barron, but you want to sit up out here talking about that you don't want to wear a bulletproof vest because it makes you look fat. Like, you sound like a whole woman when you say that. Like, what man goes around, "Oh, I don't want to wear something because it's going to make me look big." Really, Queen? Okay. And y'all want to talk about Obama was a homosexual president. I'm like, really? Because Trump acting like he might be in the closet. Although, who want to hit that? He gonna give you shitty kitty. Kind of like Scott Jennings and Lady G, as in Lindsey Graham. Now, at another moment in the film, like I was saying, he had a conversation with Dean Cain. Carpenter, he said, "I got some choice words for that bitch now." Who got cackles from the crowd. We ain't going there. It's a celebration. Now, Bradford's career took off shortly after the film's premiere because, after the movie came out, Scrubs came out, and Scrubs became this popular show. And then they did would we call that a sequel? So Scrubs is kind of back, but the cast is older. And I think it's a continuation. I guess we can call it that. And then he went on to reflect on the risk that straight actors face playing gay at the time. He said, "I didn't have that fear. I thought the script was absolutely brilliant. I was honored to play the part. It didn't really cross my mind. Of course, I was aware of the zeitgeist, and in the town of Hollywood, it was controversial at the time for straight men to play homosexuals. But I was just so blown away by Greg's script." Now, Berlanti also gave him his big break. He said, "This is my first big part." The Love Simon director is prodigious today, but this movie was a feat to put together at the time, he recalled, but he knew it was special. He said, "We shot it in 15 days, and I remember each day so vividly. I knew when we were doing it that we were making something that felt like it would last." The film was shot in September and was at Sundance by January. And then Porter notably mentioned the importance of making this film for the LGBTQ plus community, saying at the time there wasn't anything for queer people, let alone layer that with queer people of color. Because, yeah, that was the first time I actually seen Billy Porter in a movie. And the fact that we had something like this, I felt like was pretty awesome at the time because, yeah, the 2000s, I feel like it was a prominent time, especially for queer cinema, because we had like little independent things here and there. But to see like these ensemble type films coming out, we had that, and then it was like Punks, and then we had Noah's Ark came out years later. So seeing all these different shows, and I hope we have a resurgence of that because I did hear like with Heat of Rivalry, they have like some of those. I forget what they're called, but like those type of shows from Thailand that are starting to come over, and they're I think HBO Max got the rights to it. They're going to take a lot of those old shows and old things and put them on there so people can actually like watch those old programs or whatever. So there's a little resurgence. And so the screening raised, I should say, the screening raised funds for Pride House LA/West Hollywood and Team Out AF, which supports the LGBTQ plus athletes. Because remember, they were a group of friends who also had a queer softball team. So I actually love this film, and I haven't seen it in a while. So, speaking of that, this and Trick were like two of my all-time favorite movies to come out of that whole time in the 2000s. So I love those films. Oh, who knows? I might, now that I'm thinking about it, I might watch Broken Hearts Club tonight because it's been a minute since I've seen that movie. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Are you someone who has seen Trick? I mean, not seen Trick. Who has seen the Broken Hearts Club? What are your fondest memories? Is it something that you'd be interested in wanting to check out? Because it is a good film, and I cannot recommend it any more than I've already have. So, whatever your thoughts are on this matter, let me know in the comments down below. I forgot to take all that out. Like, what is going on? Because I was like trying to look for another one of my topics, and I don't know why I can't find it. All right, I got it. Barbie F revealed Beyonce shot a video for Thick, but decided not to release it, calling visuals dead as YouTube became a news platform, making it hard to push music videos now. I don't think music videos are dead. Billy was closeted. Who we talking about? Oh, you talking about Billy Porter? Well, they were talking about like in those days with the music. They wasn't out here trying to. Even if that we knew that people were gay, they were just trying to get like butch it up, come on, butch it up, damn it. There comes a point in time where you're like, fuck that shit. I'm gonna just be me at the end of the day. All right, y'all. So now let's get into some drag race news. And let's talk about RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 11. So we already know the list of queens are going to be appearing on the upcoming season of Drag Race. I'm pretty much excited. But what I'm really excited for is the group of judges they got coming back, including LaToya Jackson. Now, the other day, I could have sworn I made a joke about LaToya Jackson and Drag Race, and lo and behold, she's on the new season as a damn judge. And it's been years since they had LaToya on there. But RuPaul Charles leads the judging panel with fan favorite panelists Michelle Visage, Carson Kressley, Ross Matthews, and T.S. Madison. Now joining the panel for season 11 as guest stars are Renee Rapp, Christina Ricci, Cooper Koch, and Kate Hudson. Other guest judges who will be featured on the new season of the show will be Ted Lasso's Juno Temple, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star Bronwyn Newport, Brian Tyree Henry, Evan Mulrooney. I've heard people trying to say that Brian Tyree Henry is gay, but if he is, okay, congratulations to him. Evan Mulrooney, Gina Gershon, Jamal Sims, Abbott Elementary's Janelle James, LaToya Jackson, and Laura Roach. Now, one of the things, now this makes sense why Bronwyn was at the season 18 premiere. Because I'm like, what's this lady here? Because apparently she's a guest judge on All Stars. Sidebar, I'm going to spill some tea to y'all that y'all don't know about. So apparently, this coming week, you know how they normally, because we have Drag Race, they usually do like the premiere thing. Well, apparently, word on the street is they're not even doing a premiere for the girls. They're doing like some cocktail type situation. I don't know what y'all doing over there, Paramount, but the budget and y'all cutting the budget over there for Drag Race, I don't like this. Y'all not even giving the girlies a premiere. And there was a certain queen, I don't want to spill her tea, but she does follow me. She said that good, then I don't have to go and spend money on like a dress or putting a dress together, whatever the case is, because if it's just gonna be a little cocktail get together, then maybe you could just show up any which way you want. I don't know if you want to come in drag. I don't know if you want to come in boy drag, because remember when I told you when I went to the season 8 premiere, there were girlies there who was in their boy drag. Rose was in boy drag. There was a lot of the Candy Muse. I have not seen Candy when I've gone to the premieres show up in drag. Like he always comes in boy geesh. So you don't necessarily. I was like, I don't need to dress up and tuck and sit on that shit for how many hours, so that way I can mingle and look all glammed up. I can just come in my regular shit. I mean, unless somebody wants to take pictures of us all being hanging out. But for the most part, if it's not a part of like a red carpet situation, then we don't got to do it. So I don't know. I'm a little worried about the future of Drag Race, dealing with them idiots over there at Paramount. So they said that Toy Toy will be the guest judge for the premiere episode, season 11, set for Friday, May 8th. Former queens, as y'all know, who will star on the new season of All Stars include Akira C. Davenport, April Carrion, Aura Mayari, Crystal Method, Hershey LaCour Jete, Jasmine Kennedy, Joey J, that gay ass bitch, Kennedy Davenport, that's her words, not mine. Kennedy Davenport, Lucky Stars, Dawn, Morphine Love Dion, Morgan McMichaels, Mystique Summers, Selena S. Titties, Sam Star, Sugar Cane, Silky Nutmeg, Ganache, and Vivacious. So I'm actually liking this group of girlies. Based on the trailer, it actually, and no shade, looking at this trailer, it looks way more entertaining than what we got in season 18. So I'm looking forward to this upcoming season of Drag Race. Now, it's funny how I think now I understand this, because I was like, wait a minute, wasn't it like there was 3 girls that went to the finale thing after the brackets? Now it makes more sense. They're doing 2. So I don't know why I couldn't compute in my brain. Maybe I need to see the trailer in order to come to the conclusion. But they mentioned in the trailer, because they're going to be divided into 3 groups of 6. So that's 18 queens. And they're going to be competing in their own bracket. I do like the bracket idea. And now they have the 2 queens with the highest point totals will advance to the semifinals. So I like that whole situation. I just hope when it comes down to, so that's 6 queens who make it to the semifinals. I just hope that, and I guess maybe they did that because there was complaints before. How do you have 9 girls and only going to do 3 episodes of the semifinals? That makes no sense. So I guess maybe they feel like if we do 6 instead of 9, then the shorter episodes will make sense. But I'm like, no, y'all need to add more episodes. So I feel like y'all, it's just a short way. So I like the concept. I just don't like how it's just being rushed to this only small amount of episodes that y'all are doing. Now, at the end of the tournament, as they said, the epic lip sync SmackDown for the crown grand finale episode, where the final finalists will battle it out for a grand prize of $200,000 and a place in the coveted Drag Race Hall of Fame. And then, of course, we'll have Untucked, which we can watch on Paramount Plus at the same time when the episode airs. I just hope that, please don't be the Kumbaya season and don't be giving us nothing in them damn in the Untucked stuff, because I miss the days of the old Untucked. Now you can't even look at the new Untucks and make YouTube video collages out of them because it's so boring. I think the last time Untucked was good was the season that Candy Muse was on. That might have been the last time Untucked was good, because there were so many great moments that came out of that. I wouldn't even say Plain Jane season. And who was the other one? Mistress Isabel Brooks. I don't even think there was any. There was a couple of iconic moments, but yeah, the Candy Muse one, that was like the last true season, I would say, in my opinion, where they gave us a little something, something. But anyway, I want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story? Are you excited for this upcoming season of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars? I like All Stars, and I just hope that when season 19 come around, y'all really give us a little something, something. Because the girls was good. It was just the challenges was ass, and it just wasn't giving me what I needed from this whole situation. I just hope Lucky Stars last longer than the first episode. Don't get chopped. Well, I don't get chopped. Well, I think they will last because remember they're only picking 2 queens. Do I think she'll advance to the semifinals? I don't know. We'll have to see. But in the meantime, let me know what your thoughts are on this story in the comments down below. Oh wait, I forgot. I keep forgetting to do this. All right, so she's so annoying. She said she's not making a rock album, but a song is called rock music. I'm like, she's so damn annoying. 2026, the year of the Jacksons and Madonna, the last true 80s icons. I love shark movies, but I stay away from dumb ones like Sharknado. I like Sharknado. That was a guilty pleasure. I did see Thrash the other day on Netflix. That had some good moments. I actually like the Hillbilly episode with the foster parents, where they was using them kids' checks to buy up steaks and everything and putting it in the basement and feeding them little boy the kids white bread and how them sharks got their ass. I was liking some of the stuff in there. But it felt like there was so much missing from that movie. The third act was ass. Excuse me. It felt anticlimactic, and then y'all setting it up for a sequel. But I do like shark movies. Um, there's one that's on Netflix that I heard that they're already shooting a part 2 in Paris. I can't remember the name of it on the top of my head, but I do like a good shark movie. Jaws will always be the classic. Sailor Mermaids in the building. Speaking of Paramount, are you going to mention the fact that subscribers are suing them? And we'll see how that works out. When the movie industry, they don't want it to happen. I saw India Moore just did an interview with Crystal Ball and a bunch of others where they're talking about they don't like this merger. A lot of people have signed the contract, signed a petition. Even though there's some people out here that don't think petitions mean anything, but they have the nerve to say out their mouth that they don't think protesting helps. And it's like, so you don't know how activism works? Maybe because you're too pussy to get out there and activate. Now you want to talk about it don't work because you never stood for something. Yeah, Jaws will always be that iconic. I really don't watch Drag Race, but I saw Nymphia Wynn do her lip sync to hmm All right, y'all. So now let's get to our final topic. And let's talk about Katya. So our Russian girl, our Russian doll, Katya Zamochikorova. But your dad can call me Katya. However the hell that damn song goes. But yeah, so Katya apparently is in the hospital for undisclosed illness. She posted it on social media and got the children out here gagging over her situation, like, what happened, sis? So RuPaul's Drag Race Season 7 and All Stars 2 contestant Katya Zabochikova shocked fans by sending out an update on Wednesday night, seemingly from a hospital bed, giving a thumbs up while wearing a nasogastric tube. She revealed, okay, so then they said on Wednesday she posted a photo to her Twitter account saying, "Girl, I'm in body jail," adding the hashtag Hell on Earth. Now, in the photo, Katya, real name Brian McCook, could be seen lying on the hospital bed in a blue gown with tubes hooked up to her nose. She posed with a thumbs up. Now, over the top of the image, excuse me, um, as we already posted, she wrote body jail. Now, while she now elaborate on what she's going through, she wrote a separate post after which read, "Everybody gets sick, almost. Everybody gets old, and everyone dies." To which Lady Bunny responded, "Prove it." So now fans have been sending positive thoughts, except Bunny, but that's her version of being positive. Excuse me. Fans have been sending positive thoughts to Katya in the replies. And then one said, "Don't die, bitch. We need you." Another commented, "What organs do you need? I will find them." Well, because that's something like Cardi B said when she thanked a lot of y'all for supporting her tour. She was like, "But if you need a kidney, I'll find somebody to give you one. But I appreciate, whatever." Now, third said, "Katya, no, escape the body prison now." Someone else wrote, "Brian, what is this? Don't you dare." Of course, others were slightly less extreme. One said, "Oh no, hope you get better really soon." Another added, "Oh no, sending lots of love and positive recovery vibes." So, excuse me. I'm sorry to hear this about Katya and what she's going through. Because look, nobody wants to be sick. In fact, like you hear from me, I've been sick for the past week with this horrible ass cold. and my sinuses have been a nightmare. It's just like this weather change and everything that's been going on. It's been hell. So I get it. But I mean, who knows what she's going through, but I just hope that whatever you're dealing with, um, get better soon. And so that when you can get out here and do what it is that you do so well as a drag star. So I definitely want to hear from y'all. What do you guys think of this story surrounding Katya revealing that she's been in the hospital for whatever situation's going on? Who knows? Maybe once she's out and she feels comfortable enough, she'll let us know why she was in the hospital. So whatever your thoughts are on this matter, I definitely want to hear from y'all. And get well, sis. Let me know in the comments down below. All right, y'all. So now it looks like we are at the end of today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Now, before we get up out of here, one more again, if you haven't already, hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And also be sure to smash the notification bell so that we can know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I hope that I'll be back on Monday. We shall see, but it all depends on, with the second round of the NBA playoffs and what's going on with the Knicks. I don't know necessarily what my schedule is going to be. So we just going to have to play it by ear. But hopefully I'll be back here on Monday with a brand new episode of the show. Love you all for watching. Thank you for your continued support. And until the next time, ciao, darlings.